up, and welcome back to the Section 10 Podcast, episode 497, presented by Underdog Fantasy. It is the home of your 65-58 third place Boston Red Sox. My name is Jared Carrabis, and I am a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. And this right here, this is Coley Mick, and he's 7 foot tall, and you can't teach that. And this right here, this is Tyler Milliken, and he killed his dog Bullet, and you can't teach that. Bada boom, realest guys in the room. Steve, how you doing?
Ooh, what up, Section 10 in the building?
In the mother fucking building with Steve Buckley. Hold that thought, Buck. This is for Steve. Which, by the way,
down, Steve.
Which by the way, this is not the first suspension of the show. So everyone that's keeping track of the suspensions. Wait, we suspended the wrong Steve, Jake. Is that a suspension?
Oh my God,
no.
Jake's gonna get suspended. No! We gotta cut it all out.
You gotta toss me.
Oh, no, not the first one.
No! He's gotta go. He's gotta go. Steve's still muted.
You gotta stay that way, Steve.
Listen, you just gotta wait, Steve. We're figuring some stuff out over here.
What? This is Steve's fault. Look at all the damage he has done. Now Jake's gonna get his first suspension ever. This is all a misunderstanding. This is all a misunderstanding.
All right, hold on. This is like when the referees pull the fight apart and they gotta like decide who's getting ejected. And all right, so here's what happened. Before the show even started, Tyler got suspended. Why? What did he do?
Lying.
He lied. Oh yeah, he lied about not having a deck. Because they were trying to like financially shame me by saying, "Oh, you're bragging that you have a deck," and I was like, "Everyone has a deck," and Tyler's like, "Well, I don't have a deck," and he's like, "Well, I have 2 decks." Boom, you're gone. So Tyler is suspended.
Wait.
No,
Come
finger
on.
down. No. Tyler is suspended for lying about having not 1 but 2 decks. Okay.
Steve didn't have a deck for 7 years.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that's.
You're getting this is serious. Jake potentially be getting suspended is serious business. Tyler's been suspended twice already. All right, Tyler's gone for lying about decks and not shutting up when we're trying to sort through this. Then this is episode 497. Steve said we need to start at 7:30 if possible.
No. You're gonna mesh this to sound worse than it is. Go ahead. You're gonna make this sound worse than it is.
No, I'm not. I'm telling the truth. Steve requested that the show start. We usually would go 8:30, and he said 7:30. Everyone was here.
That's not what I said.
He showed up.
If you're gonna say it, just get it right. If you're gonna do this, get it right. I only asked for accuracy. If you're going to do this, get it right.
Go ahead.
I asked if we can do 7. Coley said the earliest I can do is 7:30. In the history of us doing that does not mean we hop on right at 7:30.
We have a guest.
Well, you should have clarified.
We did.
But it wasn't like, oh, Buck's definitely going to be on at 7:30. That was not said.
No, that
wasn't said.
Steve, you can't be the guy that says...
No. It wasn't. I wanted to do earlier at 7, and then you said, nope, we can't do 7. I'm like, all right, well, there goes that.
We said 7:30.
No,
you
we
can't
didn't
be the guy that asks
Coley
for the
said
earlier time and then show up 15 minutes late. No.
He said earliest we can do is 7:30, and I'm like, okay, it's probably going to be a little after that then.
Coley,
I'm not.
Is what I said accurate?
Everyone else was here for 7:30. That's all I can.
Everyone.
That's why my hands are up.
Everyone.
Hey, credit to him. But again, I didn't know Buck was here at 7:30 on the dot. That is my apologies.
Everyone was here.
Then great.
But you can't be the guy that asks for the earlier show and then show up 15 minutes late.
Doesn't get the earlier show. And then it's like, all right, like that's all good.
We don't go. We go at 8 or 8:30. We never go at 7:30.
It's fine. Whatever. It's fine. Buck's here. I don't want to take Buck's time.
No, because now we get to something that I never thought we would ever see.
This is crazy. Steve
rightfully gets suspended, and Jake suspended Buck for it. When Buck is like, Am I suspend? What's a suspend? Buck, do you even know what's going on right now? I feel like this.
Not a clue.
You're in the middle of a monumental event in podcast history. So
I hate when kids fight.
Coley.
So I'm trying to help Jake here. Jake's my guy. Everyone knows that.
Yep.
Both of their display names are Steve.
Yep.
I don't want
the
Jake to get
back
tossed.
end, it will just say Steve. So I think Steve P should get suspended again.
I like this idea. This is good.
Shut up, Tyler. Shut
Whoa,
up.
whoa,
Yeah, you're gonna
whoa,
shut
Steve,
me like this.
Steve,
Wow.
no.
I was here on time, Steve.
Yeah, everyone else
Excuse
was
you.
here on time. No, that's another suspension for Steve. This is chaos. So, all right, like now Jake suspended Buck when it should have been Steve Peralt. I don't know what the fuck to do here because it could just be an honest mistake. It could just be an honest mistake. And I think because Buck's name is also Steve and his display name is Steve, we can agree that it could be an honest mistake. So, Buck, for context here, Tyler has been suspended north of 100 times this season.
101 times.
Baby. Like me and Steve are like in like the double digits, but like
Teens.
very low, like between 10 and 20. Coley's like 2 or 3.
He's 2, I think.
2.
Man.
And Jake has never been suspended. So Jake getting a suspension for this would be crazy. What do you think should happen to Jake, Buck?
Well, for openers, you don't want to be the guy who's never suspended, right?
You want to
means
get
you're kind
tossed
of
occasionally.
teachers. I mean, I wouldn't trust the
Derek
guy who's
Jeter.
never
Derek
been
Jeter
suspended.
never got tossed from a game.
Yeah, it's kind of a teacher's pet thing. I don't think it's a good thing. That's just me.
So
So I don't know. I also don't know what, like in previous suspensions, I don't know what the highs and the lows are. I mean, so I can't mete out punishment because I don't know what the parameters are.
Tyler is like, he's just in another stratosphere.
I'm a rebel.
He's a
You've
bad
seen
boy.
how he's acted so far.
Yeah, this is wow. I think we should ask everyone their opinions here. My opinion is that it's an honest mistake. If Buck's name was Fernando, then that can't happen. We can't be booting Fernando Buckley. But the fact that he's also a Steve, I'm gonna say it's an honest mistake. I mean, that's just my opinion. Coley, how do you feel?
So I do agree with that. We were pretty deep into the suspension when we saw it, though. That's where it's like it's like one of those stories when guy gets freed after 72 years in prison and gets like $2 million from the government. It's kind of what it feels like here. So it's tough to say.
Steve, your opinion on the matter.
Jake is one of the most reliable people I've ever worked with. It's an honest mistake. It would feel, Buck brings up a good point, but I want Jake to stay perfect. This doesn't feel like he should get one for it.
Tyler?
Yeah, Steve being on the other side immediately makes me want to suspend Jake. I'll also throw into this conversation as well. I love
What's
you,
up with
Jake.
Tyler?
I love you, Jake, but if my name was being thrown around for a suspension, you definitely say to suspend me. Also, there's pictures next to the names when I'm looking at the list right now, so I would suspend Jake.
All right.
Is Tyler extra chirpy? Did I miss something, Coley?
Coley?
I'd like to suspend Tyler for having 3 points.
I
on the
agree.
matter.
Come on!
yeah, get the fuck out of here, dude.
Is it just me or is Tyler a little extra chippy today? Am I off?
Tyler's
Is that a
all right, so I'll explain why, Steve. Here's
It couldn't
why.
just be me. Is it just me?
No. Here's why Tyler is on one tonight. He's, you know how like when you give a kid candy and they get that sugar high and they're all like yapping and everything. So Tyler re-recorded the Stop and Shop Look Ahead song and sent it to me. I added it to the soundboard. I haven't listened to it yet. So he's like a kid on Christmas morning waiting to see like what he gets to open up as a present. Coley?
We've brought on like one of the premier voices of the Boston Red Sox and Boston sports
Over the
in
last
general.
75 years.
Yeah, since the sports were all invented,
Yeah.
he was right there. And we haven't said one like sports adjacent thing yet. Like this is
Well,
It's a great point.
I mean,
It's a
put it
great
this
point.
way. Steve
It's very funny.
Buckley. Steve Buckley, this is the what? 6th, 7th time you've been on this podcast? I'm
at
pretty
least.
sure like if we had I don't know. If we had Ben Charrington on the podcast today, I don't think we would have started out the same way, but Buck knows what he's getting into here, so that's why he's one of us.
If Cherry was talking Dex, I think we'd still be here.
Yeah. So I think
not my first rodeo.
Not your first rodeo at all. But I will say the final decision, I believe, Jake, you're not going to get suspended for this mistake that you made.
No, I appreciate the support from the board. It was an honest mistake. I'm not lobbying either way, but I scrolled down, I saw the first Steve I saw, and I muted him.
Yeah, I mean, shit.
Got a quick trigger, you know?
Yeah. I think the difference is, again, if it was Fernando Buckley, then it would have probably been a suspension for Jake, but it's an honest mistake and we all make them. Nobody here is perfect. That being said, Steve Buckley, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here, guys.
Thanks for coming. This is I told Buck, he's like, how much time you need me for? I was like, I don't know, probably like 15, 20 minutes. We spent the first 15, 20 minutes just sorting out suspensions. So I think the clock starts now. If you have another 15, 20 minutes to give us, then we'll take those. But time is of the essence. I know that you're a very important man.
So am I supposed to pitch the baseball game on Thursday night?
No, Buck. Let me paint the fucking picture here. I'm just welcoming you in, and then you say your thing. Hey, I'm Steve Buckley in the Athletic, and blah 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 blah. And then we get into the old-time baseball game, which I will be a participant in for the 5th time, maybe.
Yeah, I was going through the all-time roster. You've been bobbing and weaving for several years now.
Yeah, you missed me.
Your 5th time.
You missed me for a couple of years when I was in New York. But I was there last year. I think I was there like 2016, 17. I can't remember. I know I've worn the Dick Raditz. This will be like my 4th time, and then I wore the green one once. So this might be
Hawaii Islanders.
Yeah. So this might be my 5th game.
Yeah. And I had nothing to do with that. You got very upset that I had you in that uniform. I don't.
Which one?
I have more important things to do than to be like the dresser.
I don't give a shit.
I had nothing to,
no. So last year, Buck, I wore the Dick Raditz uniform, which I'm happy to do that. But it is because it's the old time baseball game. It's a little baggy. And I remember we took like a bunch of video content and I posted on Instagram, and a lot of the feedback was, damn, Jared really let himself go. He looks fat now. And it's just because the uniform's baggy. I'm not saying
you were going through something.
I'm not saying I'm slim.
If that works, go with that.
Yeah. I'm not obese. Actually, I might be the legal definition of obese for like whatever my height is, like depending on like weight. But I'm not like a fatty fat boy, Buck.
So let me are all you guys? I'm vague as to the level of participation you guys are having in our game. Are you
Steve said he wants to pitch to me.
I didn't, but that would be funny. I'd like to play Buck, but I know there's real baseball players that are gonna play.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Okay, because I don't handle the rosters and the uniforms and all that, but I do have the programs going to press tomorrow morning, and I know I've got. I had it here. Okay, who do we got here? Steve, I think that you are in, believe it or not, the uniform of the Ethiopian clowns.
I was asking for that.
And I had nothing to do. This is not like me having fun. This is just the way it worked out.
Yeah.
It's my favorite team, so this works out well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was a Negro Leagues touring team, a barnstorming team.
Mm-hmm.
They were like the baseball equivalent to the Harlem Globetrotters back in the 1940s.
Very good.
And they
were
mostly out of Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great jersey. Here. Great jersey.
Carabas is in the, I think we discussed that, the Dick Raditz uniform. Mm-hmm. And who else am I looking for here?
Coley.
I just came across that. Hold on. Coley Mick, Section 10 podcast, Roslindale. The 1948 Birmingham Black Barons. It's another one of our Negro League uniforms.
It's a big one.
You're kind of a big guy, so I'm hoping that uniform fits you, because they're not. It's not like they stretch like polyester. They're kind of
sure.
And who else am I looking for here?
Tyler Milliken. of Brockton, Massachusetts.
Curry College, Brockton, Massachusetts.
Shout out the Colonels.
The 1945 Cleveland Buckeyes.
Oh,
Wow.
We're out here.
Which is another Negro. So most of you are in, except for Carabas, are in Negro Leagues uniforms.
Is Jake
Nice.
in there? Jake Yazzie?
Jake Yazzie. Hold on. Did you give us his name?
Yeah. Also, you know what? I have to take a suspension right now.
Wow.
Whoa.
It's because you're the only one not in Negro Leagues.
Oh,
uniform?
Jake Yazzie, Boston University alum from Swampscott. Oh, that's a good uniform. The House of David.
Love it.
And it's an all-blue uniform. And which one is you, Jake?
Right here.
Okay, I kind of wish one of the other guys did, because the House of David players were known for what? House of David players were known for?
Huge beard.
They all had beards.
Yeah.
So.
That's a great point, Buck. But the MLB season is in full swing, and Underdog Fantasy wants to make it a lot more interesting. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. Playing their pick'em game is as simple as selecting higher or lower on player stats, strikeouts, total bases, home runs, and so much more. Make entries of all baseball or mix and match across your other favorite sports. You can win up to 100 times your money, and it's a ton of fun. You could probably do what? You could probably combine MLB with a little March Madness, Steve?
Yeah, I think that's coming up next week.
Yeah, baby. Make sure you sign up with the promo code Jared. That's Jared to get up to $250 in bonus cash and a special pick on Underdog. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code Jared.
So I don't know. So I'm confused. I don't know if you guys are playing or just like running around in the uniforms. What's the plan?
I think we were going to ask you that, honestly.
Well, I don't handle that. I know that we've got more players. Well, first of all, let's set up the game. It's Thursday night, 7:00, St. Peter's Field, being played as a benefit for the Boston home.
Cambridge,
Works with the
Massachusetts.
Yes. St. Peter's Field, Boston home is our charity. We've got Jonathan Papelbon is going to be there, and Carabas played a role in making that happen. And Lou Merlone, and also Jeff Mayer. You guys remember Jeff Mayer?
Mm-hmm.
The kid that redirected the fly ball when he was 12 years old. He played in the game in 2006 when he finished up at Wesleyan, and we've invited him back this year. He's married. He's got 3 kids, lives in New Hampshire. Probably listens to you guys. He's a big baseball junkie, and he's going to be there Thursday night too. So,
Presented by Blue Moon.
I'm sorry?
Suck one.
Produced by Jake Yazzie.
Fuck yeah.
Okay,
Now,
go ahead, Buck.
So I haven't. What are we doing with Papelbon Thursday night? Is he pitching an inning, 2 innings? Is he going to bat? I have not talked with him.
I haven't either. I was supposed to talk to him the day of the Jimmy Fund. I didn't. I called him over the weekend, didn't answer, didn't call back. So your guess is as good as mine. I have no idea.
All right, because like Fred Lynn didn't play last year. He was
Right.
at the game. He just had the double knee replacement.
Mhm.
Jim Longboard was 73, pitched a shutout inning. Late great Tim Wakefield pitched an inning.
Mhm.
Roger Clemens, 2 innings. Pedro Martinez, 2 innings. Believe it or not, Oil Can Boyd pitched 4 innings the
believe
year
that.
he played. Oil Can Boyd batted. Pedro batted. Clemens batted. Obviously, Lou Merlone's gone to bat. Mike Timlin pitched one year. He did not go to bat. He didn't want to hit. So we leave it up. Clemens pitched 2 innings and then played 3 innings at first base, if you can believe that. I mean, we couldn't get him off the field. He had such a good time.
Love that.
So I don't know if Papelbon is pitching, if he's playing first, if he's. I've got him as the starting pitcher for the home team in anticipation of pitching to you, Carabas. That was the plan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to obviously hit a fucking piss rocket off of him.
You're gonna get
And is this my entree to point out that you did get a line single to center field off a Division I, and there is no fooling around here. It was a legit hit off a legit Division I pitcher with video. So,
Come on.
There it is.
Hey,
What were the
Manny
previous
Ramirez's
10
swing.
at-bats?
hey, at least I got in there. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
no, but the point is that nothing would make me happier than to say he fell on his ass, he made a fool of himself. It was a disgrace to baseball, set the game back 100 years, but none of that would be true. I'd be lying.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I would say, going up against Jonathan Papelbon, I probably have the advantage. Better athlete, in better shape, younger.
You watched him pitch a ton during his career.
I
was
have.
gonna say you've seen
the
him.
book.
You got the book on him.
I got the book on him. He does not know how to pitch me. Fastball splitter. Shit. If I swing at it and it goes underneath my bat, guess what? It was a splitter. If I barrel it, guess what? That was a 4-seam fastball and it's probably going somewhere, Buck. After I get that hit off Jonathan Papelbon, there's only one way I'm going to celebrate, and that's with an ice cold Blue Moon. Some beers can say that they're brewed for baseball, but only Blue Moon is brewed by baseball. Beer and baseball, they just go together, and no beer goes better than the one that was literally born in a ballpark. Blue Moon was created at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. It's the natural choice for opening day and all season long. Jake, how many Blue Moons do you think we should bring to the Oldtime Baseball Game?
I think we're going to need at least 90.
90. That feels light. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people there. I mean, we can that's just for us, or
We're sharing?
Well, we're guests, right? You got to bring something.
Yeah, 90 just for the crew here.
Okay. And we can get more if we need more.
Yeah.
From its refreshing flavor with Valencia orange peel for a subtle sweetness and hints of coriander, Blue Moon Belgian-style wheat ale is a one-of-a-kind beer that's made brighter. It's carefully crafted and full-flavored with refreshing notes and a smooth, creamy finish. Blue Moon was brewed by baseball to give you a dose of nostalgia and get you excited for the new season. Why strike out with the same old beer when you can get something that is one of a kind? Its bold flavor, bright explosion of color, and iconic orange slice ritual guarantees a one-of-a-kind beer experience that is perfect for spring weather. Best served with its signature orange garnish to showcase its beautiful hazy color. A beer this good only comes around once in a blue moon, but you can enjoy it all season long. Bring the ballpark to you with Blue Moon Belgian style wheat ale. It's a one of a kind every time. Get Blue Moon delivered by visiting get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared to see your delivery options. That is get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared. Blue Moon, made brighter. Celebrate responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Back to the interview with Buck.
Do you know that Papelbon's two brothers pitched in this game?
Josh and fucking the fuck's the other one?
Jeremy.
Yeah.
In 2005.
Yeah.
In 2005, Papelbon had been called up. He had only been in the big leagues for like a month. He heard me on EEI talking about the game, and he came. I barely knew him, and he said, "Well, what's this game you have?" And long story short, they were both in college. He had them fly up. They each played in the game, and they each pitched a shutout inning, and they both got drafted. One by the Cubs, one by the Red Sox, and played a few years of minor league baseball.
Yeah, I remember him on the Spinners.
So this will be the third Papelbon to pitch in the Oldtime Baseball Game.
Yeah, and it's probably going to be the last after I fucking embarrass him out there.
Buck, outside of Jared's rope, this is the 30th year you guys are doing this, the 30th year that you've had the game. Is there one moment that sticks out above the others? I know you listed a couple off. Is there one that really you remember the most?
Besides my hit last year.
Yeah.
Besides Jared's hit.
Besides my hit last year.
The year that Pete Fradius was diagnosed with ALS, 2012, we had him. I met with him at Mass General to write a column on him. I had met him a few months earlier at the Intercity League banquet. And then he gets diagnosed. I reached out to him, and we invited him to play in the game that summer. And he was the starting first baseman for the visiting team. And the pitcher for the home team threw one pitch. The umpire called time, and we subbed out at first base. One of Pete's best friends from growing up, Tommy Haw, replaced him at first base. And so it was a symbolic thing. It was Pete's last game, and he ran off. He was wearing a number 3. We had him in our Ted Williams number 9. Ben Cherington shows up with a number 3 vintage Red Sox shirt, because 3 was what Pete always wore.
Right.
So we switched off during the pregame ceremony, put him in the number 3. And something that was not choreographed is that when he came out, Tommy came out and hugged him. The catcher was a BC kid, Matt Perret. He came up the first base line to hug Pete. The home team, next thing you know, every player on both teams, 60 guys, are all converged at around first base. So when people say, like, what's your favorite memory of the game? That's it right there. It was way cool. It was really something.
What year was that?
I believe it was 2012.
Okay. That was before we were friends, I think, maybe.
It was big night, and I remember we invited Jeff Allison, who had gone to PBI.
Yes.
And Pete and Jeff had some kind of shit going on in high school, some game. I hit you, you hit home run up me, some stuff. And we invited Jeff to be in the game that year. And it was really cool because it was like that was only like 5 years earlier, whatever it was, but they were sitting there for an hour and a half talking about some high school game. And it brought so much joy to Pete because he was, let me tell you, he was doing like a Facebook thing that night. When he got home, he was still wearing the shirt and he still had eye black on. And he was doing like this live thing talking about, I mean, for that day, he was a ball player again. And he was with all his buddies. He was, it was cool. And, we had Pedro in our game. We had Clemens. We've had guys hit home runs. We've had great catches. We had, Lonborg shows up in a 56 Chevy, drives onto the field, Jim Lonborg. So we Mike Pagliarulo hit a home run one year. So much has happened. I mean, Pedro picking up John Martin at his house, the former cameraman at Nesson, who also died of ALS. And then Pedro driving John Martin to the game and showing up in a big stretch or whatever it was. But to look out and see Pete in a full Red Sox uniform, number 3, playing first base at our game was something I'll never forget.
What year was the John Martin game? 17, 18? Actually, I'll find it right now.
I think it was 17.
Okay.
Yeah, it was 17. It was 17. We had Pedro.
It was 17.
We had 18. We had Wake, and 19. We had Clemens.
He texted.
And by the way, the year that Wake pitched, I had been trying to get Ray Bork for years to play in this game, and I run into Wake one night. I asked him if he want, and he said, "Yeah, I've been waiting for you." He said yes before I could ask the question. Then, like a month later, I run into Ray Bork. I go walking up to him, and he gives me this. I know. You want me to play in your game? And I said, no. We're all set. I've got Tim Wakefield this year, and this is a true story. And Bork's Raymond says, "You got Tim Wakefield?" And it turns out they knew each other
from playing golf. Yeah.
And Ray had played baseball growing up, and they used to talk smack about, "Oh, I could hit your knuckleball." So Ray says, "If you've got Tim Wakefield, I'm playing, and I want to bat against him." So
just to see what it looks like.
Wake pitched the shutout inning, and he gave up one hit. It was a single to left field by Ray Bork.
He gave up a hit to Ray Bork?
He gave up a hit to Ray Bork.
That's awesome.
And you know who shows up? Rick Middleton shows up, and Ray Bork says, "Rick Middleton's here." And I said, "Why is he here?" He says, "He came to see me pitch a bat against Tim Wakefield." So a lot of cool stuff like that happens at our game.
I'm trying to remember, what year was Timlin?
Timlin was for Timlin. So we had Pete.
Did his mom have ALS?
His mom died of ALS.
Yeah.
So we had Pete play in the game in 12. And then the next year or year after that, we did an ALS game for Pete.
Yeah.
And that's the one where Mike, on his own, flew from Colorado to Boston, got his own hotel, got his own car, and came over and pitched in the game. And the highlight of that game is that we sort of went off script that year. Most of the players were chosen by Pete. They were guys he had played baseball with at BC, St. John's Prep, Little League, all guys he had played with growing up. And we invited them all back. And if you take like 40 of Pete's friends, and most of them are from Boston College, you can imagine what kind of crowd it was that night. So it was like everybody was walking in with a cooler. Everybody. I mean, it was just a big, giant frat party that night. And I was like praying the police would sort of look the other way, because that's what kind of night it was. It was a very fun night, and Pete really enjoyed it. Pete was in uniform. Again, he was sort of like a coach. He was in the chair by that time. But boy, he had a good time that night.
Yeah, Pete's the fucking man. As far as this game goes, what are we gonna be able to get some ABs for any of these guys? Or I understand if they can't play the field, but can they go out there and punch out like they probably will?
What we do is we don't use the DH, and usually when the pitcher's spot comes up in the order, it's late in the summer, the pitchers generally go one inning. So when their spot comes up in the order, we have usually like celebrity players or high school kids playing in their first game, people who come into the game knowing they're just going to get one at bat. Like Mike Hurley, NBC, we've known him for years when he was at WCBS. He's going to play and get an at bat. Phil Perry from NBC Sports Boston is going to play and get an at bat. And I think the way I've got it set up, I believe all you guys are on the visiting team.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe the way it's set up, each time the pitcher's spot comes up, you'll get an at bat.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Hopefully we'll hide that later in the game when the crowd kind of leaves a little bit. So, but no, we've done that a lot over the years. We've had Jack Edwards from Nesson. I think he got an at bat one year. Andy Brickley played. He was a pretty good baseball. He played first base.
Yeah.
I don't remember Tommy Fitzgerald from the Bruins. He played mostly with the Pittsburgh Penguins. He played the entire game in right field. But for media people, Rob Bradford, Carabas's buddy, he got that bat. Bill Burt from Lawrence Eagle Tribune got that bat. So we've worked in some media people here and there over the years.
Yeah.
So this is not new to us. I mean, I don't know if you're shamed by being referred to as media people.
I personally don't care for it. I don't like that one bit.
I mean, I would say, like, all right, out of all the media people that have played in this game that didn't play Major League Baseball, I'm definitely the best, right?
I would say you were second. I remember Larry Ridley from Channel 7. He played some college football.
Him. No, I'm better than him.
Larry was pretty good.
Yeah, I was better than him, I think. Is what I said.
There's nothing I want more than to invent time travel. So 15-year-old me could face 15-year-old Jared. So I could sit him down on 4 pitches. And only because the first one's going right above his fucking head. That's all I want. That's the only reason I want time travel.
I'll just stare at it. I mean, if you threw it over my head, I'd just be like,
you
all
weigh
right.
107 pounds then.
I was still hitting tanks.
No.
I can't wait, Buck. I mean, like Papelbon's going to obviously drill me, right? Like there's going to be no...
Well, we say that as a joke, and then I walk... We've had this little ha-ha now for a couple of months. Oh, he's going to drill you. And then I walk away saying, he's going to drill him.
Yeah, he might.
1,000%.
A ribbon.
1,000%.
It's a joke, and we're all hanging out. And then when we're all alone, it's like, he's going to drill him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
he said he's going to. So, like, I believe him.
He's absolutely going to. There's no doubt in anyone's mind.
But all that says to me, Buck, is he's afraid. And I would be too. I would be afraid of me too. So that's fine.
My question isn't if he's going to drill you. It's where he's going to drill you.
Yeah.
Because I have no ass. Like, get me in the tricep if you're going to hit me.
Well, it's tricep, hip, all, calf. That's all fun and games. It's
Yeah, don't kill me.
I don't think it's going to be head. I think it's going to be a rib shot.
I'd charge the mound for you, Jared.
Thank you. You know what? I'll
good content.
What would you do if I just went out there and beat the shit out of Jonathan Papelbon? What would you do? Would I ever be invited back?
I'd take pictures. That's what I would do.
Yeah, that's good for the game. I remember back in 24, Jared Carabas beat up Jonathan Papelbon.
Yeah.
To near death.
Yeah.
Inches from his demise.
Yeah, just took out like 20 years of frustration from my life in this one mound charge because I know that that's the last one I got. I mean, I'm definitely wearing an elbow guard. That's for damn sure.
I remember Roger Clemens. Kevin Kennedy did some goosey stuff with the lineup. He lost his DH, and late in the game, Roger Clemens had to bat against Norm Charlton. And Clemens went up there with the elbow thing, the wrist thing, the shoulder thing, the knee thing. He looked like he had armor on. Went up there and he got a single to center field. And then I did a podcast with like Ed Randall or somebody in New York that Norm Charlton was on. And I said, I was at Fenway the night Clemens got a hit off you. And he got all red ass on me. Cummings didn't get a hit off me. Well, he did. He got a single to center. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. I go, all right, whatever.
Just know this, Buck. If I get a knock off Jonathan Papelbon, you will be reminded of that every fucking day until the day that you leave this earth.
I totally will be. Yeah. And I hope it happens.
It's gonna.
I also hope he drills you because I'll remember that too.
Yeah, I mean, there's only two possible.
I mean, stop one second. Do you think if you get a hit, that's something I'm going to be like gazy over the rest of my life?
Yeah.
But that if he drills you, I'm going to forget it.
No, I think if he drills me, then that's just another feather in my cap. It's just like, oh,
if he drills you, I'm going to be like this the rest of my life.
Yeah, if awesome. He does that, then it's an admission that running the risk here, I know that my legacy cannot afford giving up a base hit to Jared. So I have to guarantee that doesn't happen by hitting him.
Can you do me one favor?
Yeah.
Between now and Thursday, I don't have his number. This was all set up through a third party.
Yeah.
And can you find out if A, he's pitching just one inning?
I told you, I called him over the weekend. He didn't answer or get back to me. I don't know. Like, he's very fickle.
Well, when he does get back to you, I assume he will. You being who you are,
I don't think he will.
How is he getting to the park? I need to know these things.
Buck, your guess is as good as mine. Your guess is as good as mine.
Are you picking him up?
No, definitely not. I'm not giving him any advantage. I hope he walks there.
I mean, this is part of the pack thing, though.
Are you guys all coming in one car?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve's
so the
picking
players' parking lot is out in center field, just so you know. That's kind of a standard thing.
Well, I'm arriving in a stretch limo.
Well, of course. And I need you to find out, A, if Pap's just pitching one inning. And number
Buck,
two,
I'm telling you, I'm not doing it.
I don't think he's going to find that out.
I'm not doing it.
He's going to find it out.
He looks so stressed, guys. Please.
Well, he could try to find it. Like, Pap
Shoot a
is
text,
very
Jared, right now.
What day did I call
spacey
him?
with the replies.
Tyler, DM him.
What? You're right.
I called him on Monday. So what's today? Sunday? It's almost been a
week ago.
All right, you're not hearing back. You need to reach out again.
Well, Steve, just to be clear, I'm not going to be stressed. I'm not out there. I'm not the manager.
I know what you're doing, but part of the Pap experience is that you don't hear from him for weeks, and then he just shows up to something like this. Yeah. I think that's part of what you sign up for here.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, consider me signed up then, because that's where I'm at right now.
Well, I sure hope he shows up, Buck. You know.
I mean, not that we haven't announced for a month that he's going to be there.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm going to make an absolute mockery of this game by, in old-time baseball, they didn't have Evo shields. Guess who's wearing one? Me. They didn't have half the stuff that, I'm going to put on a show for the fans. That's what it's all about at the end of the day, right, Buck? It's to put on a show.
Celebration of baseball.
And I will be celebrating my ass off.
We call the old-time baseball a summertime celebration of baseball. That's what it's all about.
I've been saying it. So
that's what it's all about. 30 years.
Before we let you go, Buck, any Sox thoughts that you want to rip off? How are you liking the season so far? Are you enjoying yourself?
I'm actually loving the season. Up until the last 3 weeks, I've been. Well, first off, the good news is that I said in spring training, listen to me. I know my baseball. This team is going to be much better than you think it's going to be. The bad news is they're better than I thought people thought they would be, but for all the wrong reasons.
Sure.
Because there are starting pitchers I figured would win 10 or 12 games who aren't there anymore because they've been hurt. Story's been out all season. I figured a bounce back season from him. So some of the stuff I was counting on to make them a better team. But I did say they were going to be a better team. I mean, Duran got off to a great start last year. He had the toe surgery late in the season, but you expected him to build on that. We knew Devers would have a great season. Connor Wong was on the ascendancy. So there were working pieces all rising. And I thought they would be a better team than we've given them credit for. And by the way, they haven't just been good. They've been exciting. They've been interesting. I've enjoyed watching them. I'm a columnist, sports writer, whatever you want to call it, but I'm also a consumer of the game that I've been watching since I was a little kid. The problem is there haven't been any great shakes lately. The pitching's gone south. They're hitting the ball. And I would hate to see them get this close and then just fade away. I think they're 2.5 out of the wild card right now, maybe 3.5 based on what the other teams did. I haven't checked. But, we're going to be at Labor Day any minute now. So
let me ask you like a media question, because Chris Sale pitched again yesterday, and that guy just won't stop shoving.
He's going to win the Cy
Yeah.
Why do you think there hasn't been more noise about that? Why do you think it's been kind of like hush hush, like let's not even talk about Chris Sale? As if that trade right now, I mean, I'm still in on Vaughn Grissom. He's still younger than everyone else who's played for the Red Sox this year. But right now, you just talked about how the pitching hasn't been great, and he's about to win the Cy Young. Why hasn't that been a larger story, especially when it was a large story that Heim refused to trade him? That was like, oh, how could he?
I think the big thing is that I think people had no expectations that he'd put up those kind of numbers this season. He's been hurt ever since he signed that contract. The contract's been a disaster for the Red Sox, except for what he's now doing for the Braves. And everyone, when they traded him, and I'm not going to lie to you, I wrote it, well, good luck to him.
Oh, yeah.
Good luck to him. Helped them win a World Series. He punched out Machado. Way to go, Chris. But you've been hurt ever since. Go make your name with the Braves. Go reinvent yourself. And by the way, who's to say, this is so stupid because it sounds like I'm defending the Red Sox and making the trade. Who's to say he puts up those numbers with the Red Sox?
Of course.
No, fair question.
And I'm not saying he would have tripped on the dugout stairs and missed the entire season, but he obviously went to a place where he's content, he's happy, he's near his home, he lives down in Fort Myers, I believe. And things are set up for him to succeed down there. Maybe he doesn't put those numbers up with the Red Sox. Maybe it was something in the air. Maybe he didn't like it here. I don't know. But I still go back to he delivered some great games to the Red Sox, and he punched out Machado. And I call that the ultimate hold my beer moment. If you go back and look at the ninth inning of Game 5, it's like he was pissed, and he had a cab waiting. It was like, hold on, wait here. And he walks out, they got the camera on him, and he just blew the Dodgers away. And people have said, oh, that's overblown. It was Game 5. The Dodgers were dead and buried. You know what? That's baloney, because the Sox have had so many chances over the years where they were this close to winning and something went disastrously wrong. So when things go right and they go real right, don't mock that. And that was a big game, and obviously that's the obvious,
to say the least.
It was a big. Let me rephrase. It was a big Chris Sale moment that I cherished.
Oh yeah, I don't even view it as much of a Chris Sale question as much as it is GM question. Like it feels like between Bailey and Breslow, they're almost like sacred cows at the moment. Like you can't really say anything negative about them. That's how it feels, at least.
Well, I think part of the problem is that if you're a serious baseball fan and you believe in the philosophy of what they're trying to do, which I don't believe in, I want them to go out and buy the moon. I want Manny and Ortiz and Schilling and all Johnny Damon. I want there to be a big press conference every year where they unveil the latest guy they pirated from somebody else's team. Now, granted, they got Ortiz for nothing. He was non-tendered by the Twins, and that just worked out. Wakefield was just, playing catch with the Negroes down in Fort Myers, and that's a very underrated Dan Duquette move to scoop him up. He wins close to 200 games with the Red Sox. But Manny was a big signing. Damon was a big signing. I want to see more of that. And, you can say, okay, well, they signed Trevor Story, and I guess they did, but I want the Red Sox to get back into the star business.
There's no denying they did that.
Yeah.
There's no denying.
Yeah. He's getting paid, that's for sure. The checks are clearing.
But listen, I like this. Oh, we're signing young pitchers and we're building this crop, and the big three is now in Worcester. Yay. But don't you love stars?
I like both. I don't think it's impossible to do both. Theo was good at doing both. I don't think that's impossible. But you're right. I thought last year was particularly tough when Soto was given away for free, more or less, and the Red Sox didn't even drive the price up on the Yankees, which is the thing they also used to do. They don't even fake do that anymore.
It felt like the Padres had like an exclusive negotiating window with just the Yankees. I was like, why is no other team making this interesting? Like, why do the Yankees just get to talk to the Padres about Juan Soto and no one has any? They don't have the phone number over there to interfere here.
There's so few teams that can pay him.
Carabas, let me ask you, because this is going to sound like I'm making fun of you, but you're tight with these guys. You have a rapport.
Less now.
With a lot of players.
Throughout the league, yes. Like this Red Sox team in particular, not so much. No, but
okay. So my question for you is you go back 20 years, they had great players, but they had characters. They had guys who said stuff that was funny, controversial, interesting. They had swagger. They're
saying controversial stuff.
You think of the stuff Pedro, Schilling.
Ortiz. Did you see my tweet today?
By the way, let me finish. Even if you separate the big stars, they also had guys that were approachable and had cool stuff to say. Damon, Mike Lowe, go back a few years, Mo Vaughn, John Valentin. Lots of personalities on those teams.
Carl Everett.
I don't know if it's generational, if I'm just not looking in the right places, but I don't sense that these Sox have that kind of swagger right now.
No. So I tweeted this. This was from my Facebook. 14 years ago on this day, it was a quote from Dustin Pedroia. We don't need to prove anything to anybody. We've had guys fight through it all year. Frankly, we don't give a shit what anybody thinks. We're trying to win games. That's the attitude we have. Jump on the wagon now. It's going to be a fun ride. That was Dustin Pedroia 14 years ago today. So It's like, we don't have that guy. We don't have the guy that's going to be like, hey, fuck you if you don't believe us. Like, we're about to... Like, it's going to be a fun ride. If you don't get on the bandwagon now, then smell you later. Like, we don't have someone that's just outwardly saying that. It's all like, yeah, I just want to get a hit from my teammates, and we're just going to put our best foot forward, and like we hope to win.
Do you agree with?
Yes.
And the biggest star in the team is Devers, who I believe is going to go to the Hall of Fame. He's an outstanding hitter. He is an absolute masher. But you go in there, he's always pleasant. He smiles, pat you in the back as he walks by. But I don't feel that Red Sox fans really know him. They love him. They like him. They root for him. There isn't a bad thing to say about Rafi Devers, but he is not. And I'm sort of, it's almost unfair when you consider that they had guys like Ortiz and Pedro. I mean, those guys were just like crazy.
The language thing factors in here, right? I mean, I know Rafi can speak, but he's still doing a translator, so that does naturally bridge it more with the fan. Like it's harder to have that connection with him.
And that is true, and the same thing with Yoshida, who's up close to 300 now, if not at 300, and so you've got like star players who were brought in to take the Red Sox from here to here. Who don't have that connection with the fan base. And it's not that the Red Sox did anything wrong here. It's one of those organic things. I don't think you can go out and sign guys because they say cool stuff. It doesn't work that way. I'm just saying that this is the way it's kind of played out.
One, I think you definitely should. Two, speaking of the big three, Marcelo Meyer has that pouring out of his ears. Like he is... when we talked to him, I said, don't let the media change you in Boston. If you keep doing this, you'll make money throughout your lifetime if you just keep talking.
Well, who has the media ever changed?
No, I think what you're talking about now, I think a lot of these kids are more media savvy because they do grow up with it in this 24-hour cycle. Whereas when Manny was a teenager in the Bronx, he wasn't watching Sports Center. Like, he didn't care about that. He didn't care about that at all.
No, he did not.
So that's where I think I don't think it's just a baseball thing. I think a lot of basketball stars, I think that's why Anthony Edwards is such a star right now. You think about Tatum. Tatum's so manicured, so like perfect. He's a dream star player because he's just going to play basketball. You look at Anthony Edwards looks LeBron and KD in the face. He's like, I've always been better than you. Like, that's rare in today's age. So I do think the media changes people, not even necessarily the Boston media, just media in general. I think they come in so much more savvy and trained than they ever did.
Well, like I said, I've enjoyed the team. I wish that they were closer to first place. I wish that, because I'm not a fan. We've all discussed the dichotomy of being a sports columnist, and I don't get any more sleep or lose sleep depending how the Red Sox do. However, I don't mind saying I love covering postseason baseball. When I was at the Herald all those years, I would go to the World Series no matter who was in it. I did like 25 World Series. My arrangement with the Athletic is I'm kind of like the Northeast feature writer columnist, and my job, 7 out of 10 columns I write, are generally Boston based. And we have, as you know, we have like a gazillion writers. So when it's the World Series, it's going to be Ken Rosenthal, Jason Stark, and whatever local beat writers from the teams represented. So if the Sox aren't at the World Series, I'm not at the World Series. So yes, I'd like to see him go to the World Series. I have no problem saying that.
That would be a hell of a journey with this rotation.
You're a honk.
That's the problem, yes.
Absolute Red Sox Bobo, Steve Buckley, who's actually a Mets fan, by the way. All right, Buck. Yeah, that was a great 15-minute segment today. Thank you for the 15 minutes. How long have we been going, Jake?
We are at 48 minutes.
Oh, hell yeah.
God.
That's
all right. So what's the deal? Are all, I know your situation
everybody.
Is Carrabba's. The other 4, you're all going to get in at bat?
Everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Down for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I hope we have uniforms that accommodate you.
Buck,
And
don't even start with that, because then you're gonna make excuses for these assholes if they don't get. Like, I wore a baggy ass uniform and hammered a 117 exit velo up the middle. Didn't matter if it fit me. I didn't complain. I was just like, oh, yep, Dick Raditz, the monster. Here we go. Same shit, different year.
You make it sound like if you had a better uniform, you're Brad Pitt. I don't.
No, if I had a better uniform, the ball probably goes farther. But like, I don't want to run that far. I'm happy with the single.
Have you guys seen a video of his hit? He does the bat thing.
I've seen it way too many times.
I'm gonna post it again. I don't give a shit. I'll post it. I'll have an updated version this year if Papelbon shows up.
Did you ever get to a BC game this year?
No, I didn't. I tried.
You tried.
Hottest ticket in town, BC baseball.
Turned them no parking spaces to go home.
Whenever they were home and I was like, hey, like pick like a game, I like wasn't available.
This kid probably cried his eyes out. I saw him at the BC banquet.
He didn't care.
He said, Carrabba's is coming to one of our games this year. They had the bunting out, everything for you.
They didn't.
Okay, and also, I don't know about the bunting. The kid that you faced was excited. He came up. I emceed the BC baseball banquet.
You made me feel bad, Buck. This is like the third day in a row that someone has like made me feel bad about something that I couldn't be at because like I have to work.
Well, I'm making you feel bad about something you.
I feel bad. I feel bad. I wish I went, but also like I can only be in one place at the same time, Buck.
But you make it sound like you were off fighting battles somewhere.
I was
storming the beaches of Normandy.
I've been to a Red Sox game like 3 times this year. It's true.
But you didn't get to a BC game.
No.
All I'm saying is, what's the kid's name that got the hit? I want to see if he's pitching this year with us. I'll look it up.
I know his
you have
name.
his number.
Yeah, his name's Charlie. They're not still playing, right? The season's over.
You know it's over.
Right, but I don't know if he's back in our game this year is what I'm saying.
Well, I hope he is, because I'm going to apologize to him for not.
Well, anyway, I know you guys have a huge audience. Admission is free. It is a charity game for the Boston home. St. Peter's Field, if you take the T, it's near the Alewife stop. You can walk. You can walk from Fresh Pond. You can walk from Harvard Square. It's a fun night. It's free. It's old style uniforms. It's vintage music, period music. Wahlburgers is there with the food and everything. Yep. It's a very fun night.
It's not a bad area either. Like if you're parking far away and you're walking up and like it sounds like there's gunshots, that's just me taking batting practice.
I will see you guys Thursday night.
Yeah, we'll be there. You better show up, Steve Buckley. Yeah, we'll see you there. Thursday night,
all right, guys.
7:00.
Later, Buck.
Cambridge.
Take care.
Bye, Buck. See you then. Big thank you to Steve Buckley for making his annual appearance on Section 10, as he does leading up to the Oldtime Baseball Game. Are you guys nervous? I feel like I'm the only one that should be, but I'm definitely not.
I'm not nervous because there's nothing to lose. Like, I'm gonna strike out. It's not
Why
like, oh,
don't
I
you
wonder if
bunt?
I'm gonna get a
Are you
hit.
fast? Are you fast? Steve?
No, I'm slow. I'm slow and I can't hit.
Well, can you bunt?
I guess, but like, when's the last time I bunted? I don't want to lean in. I don't want to get my face smashed by a baseball.
Like, so I'll give you the secret sauce, Steve. I feel like the main reason why I got a hit last year is because I had 1,000% confidence that I wasn't going to get hit. I sucked at baseball as a kid because I was definitely afraid of the ball, and I was like, I'm definitely going to get hit, and I was also 90 pounds soaking wet. So it's like, if I get hit, I'm going to disintegrate. Now I've got some man meat, as do you, Steven. So I feel like if you just go in there being like, it's kind of like going into a haunted house, knowing that the actors can't touch you. You're like, yeah, you can jump at me and be scary and all that, but like, you can't hurt me physically.
Oh, well, that's what I'm going in with the nothing to lose mentality.
Yeah,
like,
but that's why you should honestly just swing at the first pitch as hard as you can.
Here's the thing, though. If I'm you, I would want me to strike out so bad because of
Why?
how much joy I took recording you striking out in this game multiple times. I would go to this game just to film you striking out and tweet it. If I'm you, I'm trying to get a little payback on that. That's all I'm saying.
Nah, no, because I'm not an asshole.
No. It's because of all the you talked a bunch of shit. You talked to Hugh. You're like, oh, I'm gonna, like you just did in this interview. Like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna strike out.
But there's a chance that I'll actually do it. I think if there was I wouldn't talk shit if I didn't think I could actually do it.
I mean, you were saying you were gonna like hit a homer. Like,
I've never hit a home run in my life, ever, at any level.
Is that true?
Yeah. In baseball?
Not even Little League?
We're talking
No.
basketball.
I went deep a few times, baby.
Yeah, no, never. No, I've never hit a home run in my life.
What are you wearing, Tyler?
What?
Ski mask.
What are you wearing, Tyler?
It's a
Why are you wearing
shiesty.
it's a what?
A shiesty.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know what that means.
What's on his
It's a
head?
ski
He
mask.
looks like he's
He
going
looks like
scuba
he's going
diving.
scuba diving. Yeah. Why?
There's a
Why?
great tweet that said when white people wear them, they look like Buzz Lightyear, and it's correct.
Yeah, yes. He looks like if Buzz Lightyear had an evil brother.
The funny thing is, he put this on thinking we like weren't going to say like something needed to be said about this, Tyler.
Yeah.
I was intentionally not saying it because I
Okay.
knew that's why he put it on.
I want to hear what he has to say. Why?
I've never won.
I was
Why?
going to start the episode with it, but
Why?
I didn't want Buck seeing me like this and being like, oh my
Why?
God, who is this guy? But I'm dropping a track at the end of this episode, and this feels like kind of what the rappers today wear. So I thought I'd be out here in my best
They
rapper
look
kind of
like
suit.
they look like scuba divers.
No,
They're all
hey,
scuba divers these
Who
days. I don't know
Shiesty
if
got
you've
the
seen-
trend going, and now rappers kind of carry it. Yeet rocks one all the time. So
Can I
I thought
ask
I'd
another
put it on.
question?
Continue.
Did you buy this just for the podcast?
No.
You've
This
had
is
it.
a
Okay,
fashion
all right.
piece for me from time to time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just asking. I don't know.
No disrespect. That's cool.
Jake, would you ever wear something like that?
No, he looks like an idiot.
Jake, how close do you think that you came to actually catching a suspension there? Did you think it was happening?
Right off rip, I thought I was gone for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he
The
was
longer
gone,
we
but I saw
talk
the look in
about
Jared's
things, the
face.
safer people are.
True.
Yeah. I mean, I was
That-
screaming. I was screaming.
I know.
I didn't want to do it. Like I knew I didn't know what the reaction of the room was going to be. So I'm thinking like internally, I'm thinking I'm not suspending Jake, but if Coley and Steve, I don't care what Tyler has to say about it, but
That's
if
not
Coley
even
and Steve,
fair.
if Coley,
What?
if Coley and Steve said he's got to go, I'm not saying it would have been automatic, but I would have felt the peer pressure a little bit to pull the trigger there. I don't know.
Only thing I'm going to say
Is?
about this
Mhm.
is that I don't think Jake deserved it, but one could make the argument, how many times is Jake, who is a phenomenal citizen, how many times is he going to even open himself up to a suspension like he did?
That's the first time it's even been on the table.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So I don't think he's going to get suspended this year. I'm not trying to knock on wood. I'm not trying to jinx anything, Jake. But if that wasn't the one, then I don't know
Not
what
to
would
crap on the guy, but like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. He hasn't even been up for consideration. That was the first time where it was like, oh, fuck. Put it this way. If Tyler did that, it would have been an automatic bang.
That's the problem with this entire
Yeah.
system. It's not fair.
Well, it's the
like,
history. You have a
it's
history
how
of
it
this.
goes.
that's the American judicial system. Like, do you think that the same rules apply to everybody? No.
We're supposed to be
Look
above
at
that.
OJ.
We're better than that.
No.
No, look at
Status
OJ.
matters.
No.
Like, I get
Status
arrested just
definitely
walking
matters.
down the fucking street.
No.
I cross the street and I get arrested.
Money
It's called
matters.
jaywalking.
Status
Looking like
matters.
that.
Jake has both.
What do I
Jake
have?
has both. Nothing.
A rap sheet. A
Yeah.
long rap sheet.
An awful
He's
reputation.
got a clean record. Jake has a fully clean record.
Yeah, 101,
Yeah.
baby.
What is it at? What's the actual number?
I don't know. I mean,
We're
101
into the
was
130s.
2 months ago. I don't know. Yeah.
Both trials we've had results in everyone else getting suspended.
133.
Yeah.
133 is
you.
the number.
133. I mean, that's going into today.
I
Like,
can't
I think
take this guy. Look at this guy. I can't look
He
at
said like
this.
4 today.
Do I
he's
sound
got 4
weird?
today. No.
No, you
That's
sound
like-
exactly the
okay.
Okay,
same.
I'll keep it this way.
All right. Yeah, he's I think he caught 4 today.
At least. One pre-show.
No, Coley brings up a good point. If someone else is up for suspension, get ready because Tyler's getting one as well.
Yeah. He just gets excited. He's like, ooh, trials.
He does. He's the worst kind of criminal. He's like, yeah, this guy should be in prison with me.
Yeah. I also don't think that Tyler has ever been up for trial either. It's just like, it's always
Cut and
so
dry.
cut and dry. Black and white issue. You're gone.
That's why I wanted Buck
He's like-
here. It's someone who wouldn't hold any of my prehistory against me. He has no clue who Tyler Milliken is. He could kind of just talk through it and be a normal person.
I mean, we are kind of not addressing the elephant in the room that Buck wanted Jake suspended.
So did I.
He thought it was like cool though.
Yeah.
He said like, you don't want to be the teacher's pet that gets like
Right.
no set, like, you know, everyone else's class is getting detention and you're the only one that's like, but you forgot to hand out the homework. You know,
It's true.
see,
It's
I got a non-suspension take here. I just wanted to potentially nominate Coley for point of the year. I think what he said during that interview is not being discussed at all. It's a very hush-hush, this Chris Sale thing.
the sale thing. Yeah.
It's like, I was even going to put a note in my notes, but I was like, wait, we don't talk about it. We don't talk about
Can't
Chris
talk
Sale,
about
so
it.
I'm just not
We
going to
don't
mention
talk
it.
Chris
about
Sale
it.
plenty. I
Yeah.
don't think
only
that
during
we've
the
mentioned
time we
him that
played
much.
against him.
I
Yeah.
feel like
We
we've
played
acknowledged
against him,
it
that's
here
it.
and there. It's like, imagine who doesn't say it anytime you talk about the Red Sox. Imagine if Chris Sale was on this team. You see it every time you tweet about the team. Imagine
think
if
we
that
talk
guy
about
was
it.
here. I tweet about Vaughn Grissom. I hear
can't
about
take
Chris
you
Sale.
seriously. he looks like a ginger turtle.
We constantly talk about Chris Sale.
I don't think people are running from Chris Sale. Anytime you want to bring up something negative, Chris Sale comes up as the first thing.
Tyler, I'm saying on this
Not
program, we don't
Not
really
the-
bring up Chris Sale
Yeah.
that much.
Maybe
Not
not
the
every episode.
And it's not fans. I'm pointing it to when
And
Bradford went on radio last year and was like, Heim turned down this trade, and he didn't even say the team, but when he turned down this trade for Chris Sale, people went fucking ballistic. And they were like, why Heim's the stupidest? It was after he was already fired. They were just like, yeah, see, this guy should have long been gone.
Jerry?
People were doing tomahawk 360 windmills off the back, Jared.
not to crap on the guy, but I actually do have the opinion that Chris Sale doesn't come anywhere close to this season if he's still here. So that's
Yeah, I
why
don't think
I'm
so.
personally not upset about it.
It's possible, but you can only base it off of what he's done. And right
Yeah.
now, it's like
I think
the
he'd be
second
good. I
worst
don't think
trade
he'd win the
we've
Cy
seen.
Young in the American League this year if he was still here.
It's not even about like a Matt. We just haven't had that guy. And one underrated part, Cora went at the end of last year was like, that's my opening day starter, which was hysterical in real time. But he was doing that A, to pump the guy's tires, but B, to get him to lock in for next year. And then that was like his second move. Breslow's second move. Do I want people to like be furious at Craig Breslow? No, not at all. But I do think the people who are like foaming at the mouth about Heim not trading him should probably be a little bit louder about what Breslow did.
I think there's a huge part of the fan base that might also have just been waiting for Sale to get hurt, and he just keeps not getting hurt. And
Definitely.
like
1000%.
continues to be the best pitcher in the National League and maybe in baseball. Like best ERA in the National League, most strikeouts in baseball, a 210 batting average against. He's a heavy favorite now to win the NL Cy Young. So I think there is a huge part of us that's just like assuming a bad thing's going to happen. It hasn't happened, and he's easily the top guy we need right now.
Well,
so
but even
with
if
all
he
those
was
ingredients, you think we'd be talking about it a little bit more. Tyler,
But even
apparently
if
we
he
talk about
was
it every
here,
day.
the whole conversation would be he's never going to last and he's going to break down. He'd be grouped in with everybody else. That would be the main point. I think the other part of the conversation is when that deal was supposed to be made. It was the 2022 trade deadline. That's when the hand was, apparently taken back and they didn't want to make that move. So it's like, yeah, well, you saw what 2023 was for Chris Sale. Would it have been another year where you weren't happy and you didn't get what you wanted out of him, and then you got to 2024 and you hope for the best? I think most people just are okay with the trade because it made baseball sense for both sides. It hasn't worked out for the Red Sox so far, but you also can't really have much of an opinion because if Vaughn Grissom ends up becoming a big league player and you get 4 years of, service time out of him, say it's 6 in the big leagues, whatever, it's a different conversation. But I think people understood both sides of the trade, and they still do now. It's just this was always a possibility. When we had the conversation originally, it was, man, there's a 5% chance Chris Sale has that breakout year again. He gets back to the guy who he was. It happened. I don't think anyone's shocked.
If
I think
you
most
told
people
people
are shocked.
he's going to be the NL
Most people
Cy
are
Young
shocked.
favorite, I mean,
When a
that's
5% thing happens, that's shocking.
No,
I'd
but
say
I
this
always
was a
thought it was a
1.1%
possibility.
chance.
I always thought it was a possibility because I didn't think Chris Sale was cooked. I never thought Chris Sale was completely cooked as a
No, when
pitcher.
you look back, like I had people tweeting about me about the injuries, and when you look at like the last couple he had, those weren't a guy who was like wearing down and didn't have anymore. He got a line drive back off his fucking hand. He like tweaked a rib the day the lockout happened because he was at Florida Gulf Coast, and then he like drove a bike into traffic or whatever the fuck happened with that. Like they weren't, oh, this guy's deteriorating. And again, I have no problem with Vaughn Grissom. I bring him up more on this show than fucking anybody because I still want to see the kid. Like I said earlier, he's the youngest guy that's played for the team this year. That seems to be forgotten by people. However, if Heim had done this trade, if he had traded Chris Sale for Vaughn Grissom and $10 million, or Chris Sale and $10 million for Vaughn Grissom, there would be protests outside of Fenway every day.
It's true.
I think
I
with
just
Chris
don't
Sale,
hold him
though,
to a
we also
different
saw,
scale.
like, if you watched him last year, we got this version of Chris Sale for a month last year. We saw it
I
in
know,
May
that's
when he
one
was
bad
pumping it.
point to defend the trade.
No, I'm just saying in general, though, the possibility of this locking in, we saw it within the last season
For a
that
month,
it was
he's
still
done
there.
it for 5 months this season.
And it was just
That's
the point.
crazy.
Could he stay healthy? And I think we always knew. Could he be this unlucky? Could his body break down every single year? At some point, it was going to come together. It was a low percentage chance, but it happened. Like, I don't think anyone can be mad at the deal when you look back at it at the
I'm not
time.
These are
asking
separate
for
things.
that.
These are
I'm
separate
not
things.
asking for that.
But
I'm not
that's
asking
just
for
the
that
way
at
I
all.
look. Like, if you understood it at the time, you can
Sure,
look
but that's
back
not
and
what
say
the
it didn't work
conversation
out.
is. It's not the conversation. We have no idea if it's going to work out for the Red Sox. The conversation is not trading him to Texas probably worked out. But Heim doesn't get credit for that. And people are just like, oh, you only do this for Heim. No, I defended Ben Cherington forever until that became the conventional thing to do. Like, people love shitting on the previous guy. And right now, it's like this first year. I said this at the trade deadline. If Heim had that trade deadline, people would have been fucking furious. They would not have been thrilled with that trade deadline. It was a bad trade deadline.
I think this is something it's okay to acknowledge both sides of. When the trade happened, I don't think we were furious. I think it's like,
No.
oh, wow, like this. You need a second baseman. Haven't had one for a while. This kid could be it. Some promising numbers out of the gate. And Chris Sale has not been able to do it for 3 straight months. Forget 5 straight months. It's more, Tyler, I'm just looking at it now, and I think Coley is too, of this is kind of nuts that we're at this point, and it feels to that level, considering he's that good this year, it feels under-discussed. Because, like, and I'm not saying, like, don't do the trade. Like, I think you think that means don't do the trade. That's not what it
Correct.
means. I think it's more just, wow, this blows that he's been this good, and that's exactly what you've needed is
Our
this
number
guy.
one need. We're talking about we need an ace. We haven't had an ace all year when the ERA is 7 for a month. And we're looking at the next offseason like, man, I hope we can sign a guy. And meanwhile, we traded away the Cy Young. Yeah, that's worthy of more conversation than none.
And the trade
I
can still
just
be
feel
fine.
like it's
the
been
trade
a
can still be fine.
talking point. I just feel like it's been there. I feel like people bring it up anytime you want
You're
to talk
talking
about
about
the offseason.
fans. I'm talking about the media that was skewering the previous GM.
We did it all
And I'm
when
not
he
even talking
came
about
here.
us.
Both times you faced the Braves, people have written columns talking about that exact thing. There was like multiple columns. It was a constant talking point. Look at Chris Sale. Look at the year he's having. The broadcast wouldn't shut the fuck up about it.
I think it was also like it was still early in the season. So
Sure.
now
May and June.
Yeah, like now we're in mid-August, because I think when he was doing it in May, everyone was sitting there being like, well, yeah, I mean, it's fucking a month and a half into the season. Wait, like what, the wheels will fall off eventually. Just wait. And they haven't. And we've got what? A month
6
and a
weeks
half left.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now it's more like, now I'm more willing to have the conversation. But again, like, I'm not angry about it.
No.
I don't have like revisionist history. It's not a hindsight 2020 thing, because we all at the time said, sucks that it didn't work out. I mean, it did, but it didn't. It sucks that the extension didn't work out.
Correct.
But whatever success, like, I anticipated him having success this year. Cy Young success? No.
No.
Top 15 pitcher of the National League? Sure. Yeah. Like, top 15 pitcher in the National League? Yes. Cy Young? No. But I think, like, obviously the baseball gods are sick fucks. So sure, fine. Him winning the Cy Young. Am I shocked? No. Like, his whole fucking career, if he had stayed healthy, he's flirting with the Cy Young award on an annual basis. He's not like a guy that came out of nowhere, had one monster year, and then sucked the rest of it, or was like Josh Beckett. 07 should have won the Cy Young, and then 08 hurt. 09 was great. 10 sucked. Like, just every other year there was like inconsistencies. If Chris Sale was healthy for his entire career and was putting up, I don't know, like, had like Justin Verlander's durability, or I guess Max Scherzer's durability before he fell off at the end. Like, you're talking, what, 3-4 fucking Cy Young awards minimum?
Probably 3.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, was it 16? They took everyone else off the board
17.
at this point of the season. 17?
17 was the
They
year
took
that he
everyone-
punched out over 300.
He was top
Yeah, and they took
6
everyone
7 years
else.
in a row.
Yeah.
Right, but like they took everyone off the, like, you could bet Chris Sale or the field at this point in 17, and Kluber won it. You know what I mean? Like, that's what Jared's talking about. Like, I think it would be 3.
Yeah, it's definitely multiple, and it's not 2. If he were as durable as, and that's part of the game, like, I think
Big time.
so much of it you can control, but the guys that like work hard and obviously take the job seriously to the point where it's not just the off season, I'm just dicking off. It's like, yeah, I'm fucking grinding every day in the off season too to keep my body ready. That's rewarded more often than not. I'm not saying that Chris Sale doesn't work hard in the off season, but yeah, I think if he has those guys' durability, we're talking multiple Cy Young awards. So in his age 35 season, am I surprised that he's knocking on the door of a Cy Young award? No. I think it's more surprising that he's going to win his first if he ends up winning this one.
Yeah,
That's the crazy part.
Sure.
Yeah, I think it's, and you tip your cap to him, Tyler. You tip your cap, because this guy has been in the league for as long as he has all those top 5 Cy Young finishes. So there is that element of it too, where I don't think any of us in this room here are going to be upset if he wins a Cy Young. If anything, it's like, okay, looking back on who's won Cy Young awards, you'd think Chris Sale never got one? What? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So from that standpoint, it's like, okay, if he finishes this off and gets it, that's great. But of course, there's going to be that part of Sox fans that are like, damn, that sucks that we don't have that piece this year.
What's the highest he finished? Second?
Second, I think twice, right?
Second once
behind Kluber in 17.
Third, a lot of 4s and 5s, and a 6 started off that run. But yeah, he was top 5, top 6, pretty much every
straight
year since
years.
he became a starter.
It's crazy. I will also add the Heim conversation, where it gets interesting of the timing of that trade. And I don't fault Heim for that deal. I'm not going to sit here and absolutely kill him for it. But you do get that 2023 season that didn't amount to, what you would hope for from Chris Sale. And this is where, coming into this year, do the Red Sox give him that 2-year deal? Because I do think that factors into the entire conversation for Sale. Him knowing, like, damn, a team believes in me. I'm going to be with them for the following year. I have some security here. Now, there was a clause in his contract, if I recall, for the final year, where if he finished top 10 in Cy Young voting, his player option kicked in. So that would have been part of that whole calculation here, and whatever it may be. But do I think Sale gets that security and that extension, coming into this year if he's still been here in Boston? Obviously not.
No, it would have been insane if he got an extension here.
Which people
Yeah.
were calling the Braves insane for at the time, right? They're like, what the hell are you guys doing?
Yeah, imagine if the Red Sox extended Chris Sale's extension after how the first one went. Like, I mean, unequivocally, the worst contract ever handed out in Red Sox history was Chris Sale's extension, right?
Pablo?
No, I mean, like Chris Sale's was more money.
True. I'm just trying to
More
remember what the
money,
Pablo
higher
numbers were.
expectations. I mean, and that's not to crap on the guy. I love Chris Sale. But I mean, I would say dollars versus return.
Yeah, you missed 100 starts during the extension.
And you never got out of the money.
If that's how we're quantifying it, dollars versus return, Chris Sale's extension has to be the worst in team history.
Coley got a point? You got something, Coley?
Call it.
I don't know if it's the worst contract they're still currently paying.
Oh, Coley.
Oh, no.
You brought it up.
Coley,
You brought it up.
What did Trevor Story do to you?
Sign the contract. You brought up the exact point.
Sale was
How
for
was Sales
more
worse?
money.
Sales was not. Well, how much was sales? I thought it was
They
150.
just got like fucking $30-something million a year.
Yeah, it was
Talking about the
150.
total. It was 150.
Yeah, you're talking total dollars. I'm talking AAV, brother.
How is total? Like they changed the AAV during the extension. Like that didn't count at the beginning.
Steve,
What's up?
worst contract in Red Sox history.
Well, when
Steve
if
said
it's
Pablo.
water balloon over my head, I would just say Pablo because of the pain that caused us. I thought that's what you would have said too, with your history.
For sure. Pablo's was worse as well. Like Crawford's
I'm
Crawford
talking-
you traded
I-
You
somehow.
got out
Like,
of
I
it,
don't-
yeah.
I'm no. So
5-100 for
here's-
Pablo.
Here it is. Looking back, it's Sale. At the time, it's Pablo. Yes. Like I didn't want to sign Pablo when we signed Pablo.
If the whole
I got all the fucking receipts in the world too that I had him ranked 4th. It was like Chase Headley, Josh Donaldson, someone else that I can't remember now, and then Pablo was anyone else, and my fucking 4th option was Sandoval. I did not want him even at the time, and then he ended up being the worst contract in Red Sox history, worst decision the team's ever made.
It was tough.
But
I think Stories is worse. Like I'm not trying to be a dick. I think Stories is worse. It ran like a franchise icon out of town. That's bad. Like that's a bad move right there.
yeah, that's bad.
You could have
And B,
afforded
if-
both.
You could have.
No doubt. I
That
don't
feels like
disagree with
bailing
that.
them out more than
I
anything.
know. I don't disagree with that. I'm Tyler. No one shit on them.
You know
for
what,
that more
Tyler?
than me. You know that.
It's a great point.
It's a great point.
a great
They could have kept Mookie too if we really want to get into it. And I know we don't.
No, we don't.
But
Do
yeah,
not-
exactly.
Do not want to talk
But-
about that.
No, I don't either. But to Tyler's point, yeah, they could like to Tyler and Steve Buckley's point. Yeah, it would be nice if they spent money again. We know they're not going to do that. So working under that, yeah, it's a worse contract. Like when they signed Sale, they were still working under the guise that they were a team where it didn't matter that Chris Sale made $100 million a year. It didn't matter at fucking all. The second they got him and Evaldi signed, they started caring. And that fucked over everything else. So I don't disagree that the Sale extension was up there. This is one of the worst. I think Stories has to be worse. And especially if the argument's missed games. Like
I don't
that's
know that you're
not
going to
even terrible.
have very many people in your corner on this. Just because you've already established yourself as like the premier Trevor Story hater. So
I hate the contract. I don't hate the guy. I don't hate the person. And like I hate
know.
the contract
I
and
know.
the fact that he never plays.
I know, but I mean, Chris Sale never pitched.
He pitched as often for how often pitchers pitch. He pitched more than Story plays
Well,
second or short.
you look at it, 2020, he missed the complete year, Tommy John surgery, right? You got 94 games out of Trevor Story's first season here, 43 last year, and then 8 so far this year. Say he comes back for the final 2 weeks of the season. It is pretty similar when you go through like what you got.
Right.
9 starts out of Chris Sale in 21, 2 in 2022, 2023 you got 20. So that's acting like we're going to get a 100-game season out of Story at some point.
You know,
Which
what?
could be
I'd
next
say
year.
Same.
It's Pablo.
It's too early.
I mean,
though.
Pablo played one season. He signed a 5-year deal. He played less than a season's worth of games with the Red Sox.
Yeah, it's Pablo.
Sure, Pablo's is certainly in the conversation.
It was,
don't
I
there's any
think,
denying
at the
that.
time, the second most money left on a contract at the time of a release. Like they really wanted him to fuck off.
Mhm.
That like how have like, Boston is such a leaky media market. How did more stories of just slandering Pablo not come out? To get rid of like we've had some pretty bad players that got paid decent money that the Red Sox were like, yeah, we're gonna ride it out. Pablo, they were like, here's $58 million to fuck off, dude. Like, you have to be a colossal asshole on top of being bad at baseball in order for a team to pay you that much money to not play for them.
Hanley was the same offseason. They were like, we'll try him at catcher. Like, we'll try this guy anywhere to try and keep Hanley around. We love this guy.
Yeah.
And Pablo, they were like, please, the door is that way. Just go.
I wonder how much people want to talk about like, oh, like Section 10 is peaking right now. They got like Section 10 night at fucking Wendy's. They got Section 10 night at Fenway.
I'm so excited for that, by the way. They got a special Baconator for us. I'm really pumped.
Yeah, they got the Section 10 Frosty. They just announced it nationwide. But really, I think the peak of our powers were getting Pablo Sandoval off the Red Sox. I think, like, he sucked. I get it. And he was a fat fucking idiot. But I think us, more so me, creating this genuine...
I was going to say us. Come on now.
This liquid
you stalking
magma.
his Instagram.
Yeah, this liquid magma hatred for Pablo Sandoval that resulted in the team getting rid of him. I genuinely speaking, if Section 10 never existed, I don't know that he gets released when he does. I don't know that.
I think it would be foolish to say it had zero impact. It definitely had. There's a percentage of impact that it had on it.
Yeah, I think so too. But
I still have the screenshot saved. I cut it off but you just saying, look at this fat fucking piece of shit. Like, like genuine visceral. Like did not like one iota of that human being.
When that ever made the Tonight Show, I was like, holy shit.
I don't think I've ever hated anybody more. How have we never crossed paths is what I want to know. How like there was only one time that it got close, and it was in 2018 or 19. I think it was 18 because when we moved to HQ3, Coley, was that 19? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it must have been 18. Pablo's out of baseball and he was offering hitting lessons, and Dallas Braden like bid on it, and he was going to have me go. And I'm pretty sure he won. And then when they asked for the name and they gave my name, they're like, take your money back. We don't like, we're not charity's not that important. No. So
we'll pay you not to come.
Yeah. Yeah. So that didn't end up happening. Red Sox lose 5-1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Game two. Brennan Bernardino versus Corbin Burns. I mean, this was the game. I don't want to. It was this the game of the series? Like it was, but it wasn't fun.
No, this was the most painful win of the season.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. I tweeted it when the Red Sox were up 8-4. I was like, we're gonna lose this game, but it's very cool to score 8 runs off Corbin Burns. Like I just felt it, and
he carved you up this year. He had 2 starts against you.
He's carving
against
everybody
you. 14
up.
innings, 1 earned run. Like
he's gonna finish top 3 for the
lineup.
Cy Young. He's top 3 for the Cy Young easy. And he's shoved it up your ass twice, and now you put up an 8 spot against them. But it's another bullpen game, and I'm just sitting there being like, "This is I call it loser mentality if you want." But the Red Sox are up 8-4, and I just had that feeling like, cool to score 8 off Burns, but we're definitely losing this game. And the Orioles ended up scoring 10 runs. Like the idea that 8 runs wouldn't be enough was correct. I just didn't have the Red Sox putting up 12 on a night that Corbin Burns started the game. That's all.
I nearly tweeted it, and I wish I had, because now I sound like a liar. But when we had 8, I thought to myself, they need 12. Like, they need 12 to win. Obviously, they only needed 11, but I thought to myself, like, doing the math about who else was going to appear in this game. And at that point, Cooper Criswell was just like, I kind of want to see the Orioles win as well. So factoring all that in, I was like, I think if we get to 12, we'll be okay. And yeah, it was fucking close. It was as close as it can be when you score 12 runs.
If you're starting as many games as Corbin Burns has started so far this season, it's almost impossible to only have 4 earned runs be the worst start of your year leading up to mid-August. And he gives up 8, and to y'all's point, it didn't feel comfortable. Like it was, because at that point, what, it was 8-4, I think, when Yoshi went deep, when Yoshida, went deep.
Can you not say Yoshi? Is that
People hate that.
Jared doesn't like it. Jared doesn't like it.
I didn't say I don't like it. Masataka Yoshida said,
No, I
"Don't
know.
call me Yoshi. My nickname is Masa."
So he
Steve-
definitively said that?
Yes.
Okay.
Like
I
it
haven't heard
was
anything about it since the start of last year. I was like, does he really hate it? Does he actually hate that?
Someone with the Red Sox reached out to me and said, "Put the word out that he hates Yoshi. He wants to be called Masa." So I said, "Public service announcement. Masataka Yoshida wants to be called Masa. He doesn't want to be called Yoshi." And then fucking Steve's like, "It's Yoshi. It's Yoshi. I like Yoshi. I'm doing
I mean,
Yoshi.
I tweet the-
I already have
I
the
tweet
video
the
of
GIF
Yoshi, so
every
it's
time.
Yoshi." And I was like, "He wants Masa."
Coley and
he
I
wants-
tweet Yoshi. We love Yoshi.
Coley, you just saw in real time, didn't know. So
I didn't know.
you
didn't know,
It's weird you didn't
you
tell me.
know, and you still do it.
Coley
I,
didn't
know,
tell
I
me.
know, but I didn't know. No, I didn't like. I'm like, did he really? Hate is strong, Jared. Hate is strong. He
I mean,
hates the
I think-
Mario character.
No, but I think it was like the first homestand of last year, and when he came to the plate, like the crowd was chanting Yoshi, and he was like, "Don't do that." He's
I'd love to get
Masa.
it. Yeah. This
I
is more
get
me
it.
loving Mario. I love the Mario characters. I'm not
Yes.
like hating on Yoshida.
I get it when like a player, it's like you can't, like you don't get to pick your own nickname, but if you
Yeah.
already have a nickname, then you can't change their nickname.
I'm not going to do Macho Man. That feels
Macho
forced to
Man.
me.
I haven't done that
we
once.
I know we didn't start that, but I don't like that either.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Well, we don't see the dumbbells in the dugout anymore. It's not like we're really trying to
Those
push that
stunk.
one,
I
right?
hated that too.
I didn't like that either. No.
No.
Anyway, one thing that stuck out to me just looking up stats over the last like 40 games is the Red Sox have scored the second most runs in baseball over that span and still have a negative run differential during that time. Like that's nearly impossible. And this game 2, really summed up how we feel about the current state of the team, that no lead is safe, which blows because like obviously we want to get to our guy. We want to get to Kenley. And, you know, you just can't do that every night. You're going to need some guys to fill in and actually give you some decent innings out of the pen. Lucas Sims, I'm sure we'll talk about him, has been one of those guys. But was this the Garcia game?
Yeah, I got to give love to Bailey
Oh, yeah.
Horn, too. That 5th inning, when he came in and he got the
can't not
back-to-back
do it.
strikeouts,
That was big.
that was sneaky, very big.
It's just
now,
tough
was
when
it
it's
right
him
down the
doing
middle?
it.
Yes, but he got the strikeouts.
Yeah,
that
it's
point,
like,
it felt
okay,
like the
he had
game was
one
going
good
the other
outing,
way.
and then, you know, today happens. But
I was having this conversation with Clue the other day. It's like so many relievers right now. It's not even just a Red Sox thing. So many relievers throw, they don't pitch. And our relievers specifically are just up there throwing. They have no fucking idea where it's going. They're just hoping for the best, and they get banged on frequently.
I kind of always hated the phrase like, "Oh, just play catch with the catcher." Like, no, like you have to do more than that. You got to spot this. You got to like mix your pitches up right. It seems like Sox pitchers, to your point, are just playing catch and like, oh shit, that ball was crushed too. Like it happens every single game we watch right now.
That's even my, like, Sims did well, but I'm a process over results guy. When he, and I'm going to jump ahead, I apologize in advance.
Jesus Christ, dude.
When he went sweeper to Santander, and the second one was hit.
Santander?
That's how I'll always say it. I know that's wrong. That's the bank, so I refuse to say.
I'm pretty sure. I'm
correctly.
pretty sure the bank is pronounced the same way
It's
as
bank
the
is
player.
Santander. Yeah.
Santander.
And I say it like that because I read it first. I didn't hear it out loud
That's
first.
fine.
But when he got that second sweeper and hit it 700 feet foul, I was like, we got to stop throwing the same pitch back to back. Like, we can't be doing that, Lucas Sims. Especially when he
Potentially
can
the
throw
longest
like
foul ball of
97.
all time. That thing
Crazy
was
long.
croaked.
Orioles fans were tweeting about it. Like, maybe we should get a run for that. Like, that's how far it was.
Maybe half a run, something. Yeah.
Something.
Santander.
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 No.
Are you pulling it up?
If there's a pronunciation on.
I know you're right. I know I'm not right.
No,
he's
no, no,
he's
I'm not.
denying it.
No. I'm not.
I'm not fighting for Santander.
No, I'm not. I'm not disputing.
One of the best Roof 5 picks of all time.
He's up there.
Garrett Whitlock.
Been a monster. Yeah, I don't know if he qualifies.
Garrett Whitlock's still on the team.
He is.
No doubt.
Yep.
Congrats on
Still
the
at
newborn.
The outings.
Oh, he's got a baby.
He did have a baby.
Coley's got a baby too. 3.
Bang.
3 babies. Is there anything else? I mean, like with this game in particular, I mean, I know that it was frustrating. Like, I don't want to say it almost felt like a loss. Like that's a little dramatic, but
That's dramatic.
that's a little dramatic. But
Devers did a little one of these. He said these shoulders are fine, kid.
yeah,
Back-to-back games.
Massa in this game. So I had the stat this morning. So this obviously doesn't include the series finale, but Masataka Yoshida was hitting 238 with a 648 OPS on June 29th, which like feels like pretty, like by June 29th, I feel like that's deep enough into the season. You're almost at July, call it July 1st.
Well, he had missed
How many
a good
games
chunk of
was
time
that?
with
I
injuries.
understand
Yeah.
that. I understand that. But by July 1st, you have a pretty good idea. I'm going to be good this year or I'm going to suck this year. On June 29th, he was hitting 238 with a 648 OPS. Since then, he's leading the Red Sox in batting average. And before you say anything, he is qualified. So it's not like he hasn't had enough plate appearances to qualify for like the, Duran and Devers, like they've had more plate appearances. Like, nope, Masataka Yoshida qualifies for this segment of time. He's leading the Red Sox in batting average, hitting 346, second on the team in OPS, 950. And so that brought his season slash line up to 294, 420 on base, 529 slug, and 805 OPS on the whole year. At the time, going into the series finale, 3 hits shy of the team lead. I believe it was like 50 for Duran and 50 for Devers, and then 47 for Yoshida. Second in RBI, and third in total bases.
So just
good,
for
man.
reference, he had been out. It was April 28th. He came back the 11th. But I think coming into this year, like everyone wanted to know what did year 2 Massa look like, what adjustments he was going to make, right? And Nesson got me going down the rabbit hole today when they put out the launch angle stuff where he went from 3.9 to 10.4. You kind of just keep digging deeper and you see where stuff has changed. Like his walk percentage is up 2%. His K percentage has come down 0.5%. His ground ball percentage last year, which everybody talked about all the time, 54.6%. It's now down to 42.4% this year, with the fly ball rate going from 26% to 34%. So, like, you're seeing him and the work he's done with Pete Fozzie. I know we've given him a lot of love lately for what's happening with David Hamilton.
Pete Fozzie.
With David Hamilton and everything that's kind of played out on that end, who's been swinging it since they gave him that reset. But I think this is another example of them clearly unlocking something. But on top of it, the Red Sox basically said today he's going to be a platoon hitter for them going down the stretch.
So stupid.
So I think with Yoshida, a lot of people now are saying, oh, I owe him an apology. I wanted him to be traded. I was out on him. Didn't think that he was a good Major League Baseball player. I think, obviously none of us were watching him play baseball in Japan. I think some of us probably saw him in the World Baseball Classic and got a little taste of it. But if we had known, oh, he's a guy that maybe starts slow, but by the end of the year, the numbers will be there. It's like he may suck for those first 2 months, but you look up at the end of the season and he's hitting 300, it's over 400 on base, and it's over 500 slug. It's like, yeah, okay, I'm good with that. But we didn't have that information. It was, hey, we gave this guy not a lot of money, but a decent amount of money, and everyone thought that we were stupid for the amount of money that we gave him, and so we're like, do we know how good he is? Not really. Are we about to look stupid by paying him as much as we did and thinking that he's an everyday major league hitter? Or like, is he good enough to be an everyday DH? Like when we go from David Ortiz to JD Martinez to this, like, is this really the succession that we want to be going in? I feel like now, and he still has to finish the season strong for me to maintain this take, but if he finishes strong, we can go into year 3, assuming he's still here and he's not building up his trade value and they trade him in the offseason. That's very much still on the table. But say he's here next year, then I think we can go into it with a little bit longer of a leash in April and May, being like, all right, yeah, like maybe he sucks right now, but at the end of the year, we're going to look up and the numbers will be there.
But it's
But last year was the opposite. Last year he started fine and then finished terribly, and then he had like the jaw injury or whatever the fuck it was.
I think it's also No, it was jaw.
both.
He had
It was
like a
both.
weird
It
surgery.
was both.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you look at early this year, you had the thumb. But if they still look at Yoshida right now in the last, call it 6 weeks or so, hasn't proven anything to them that he's more than a platoon hitter. And then you're, obviously talking the crunch and with the way the roster is. And it's fair to disagree, right? Like you can sit there and have that conversation and be like, I think he can hit lefties. I think once again, the Red Sox are telling us how they view the player.
I don't think they are, and I think the unfair part is it's like, oh, that's another failed Heim signing. When I know you've read those, Tyler. When they first signed him, they talked about the scouts they had over there. They're all still here. Like the people in charge of signing Masataka Yoshida are still very much here. But the second Heim was gone, that was the second it was just like, oh, let's trade Yoshida. No one ever wanted him here. That was Heim going rogue, signing a guy for $96 million, which clearly was not the case. Everyone who was involved in it still very much here. They just wanted to, look good for the new boss or wipe their hands clean of somebody. I don't know why they don't trust him in left field. He was completely average out there. It's not like we have gold glovers strewn about the field where Masataka Yoshida was the issue out there. But this is one of, to Jared's point, no, we didn't watch him come up with the Oryx Buffaloes. But when he came out of there, when you see Ohtani, how he greets him with reverence and respect, he is one of the most decorated and feared hitters to come out of Japan. The idea that he was never going to adjust was always insane to me. And it still feels like even I quote tweeted Tyler's tweet with the numbers yesterday being like, it's going to be another infuriating offseason of idiots wanting to trade him. Some of those idiots work for the team. People are going to try and trade him. He's one of your most professional hitters. The lineup looks, I know they were dog shit today. The lineup was so deep today with him hitting sixth? That's all you need. I don't care that he's a fucking lefty. I really don't. It doesn't bother me in the slightest.
Yeah, and I don't think, Jared, you mentioned, a lot of people are apologizing. I was wrong about this, that. We've talked about it on this show, and it doesn't get discussed enough. It is okay to have live opinions of players that evolve over a 162-game season. It's very rare that your take on the guy in May is also going to be the same take in September. And people need to realize that it's okay to look at him grounding out to second base every night and being like, I'm sick of this shit, while understanding there's a chance he would become this. Now, did I actually think he was going to reach a point where he has a stretch of 40 games now hitting 350? No. But he's like we've mentioned, a professional hitter, a guy that needs to be graded on his Major League Baseball time, not anywhere else. This is a whole different ball game now, playing at this level.
Literally.
And he's obviously, it's a whole different ball game, literally. And he's performing at a high level. It does suck that there's, they keep telling us there's not an obvious spot for him when you need to find a spot for a guy that's giving you that production.
Well, and I think that's the main thing here. And I think, did I expect him to get back to this level? No. I think I said it a lot during the middle of the season. I thought he was at least a little bit better than a league average bat. Right now, the way he's swinging against righties, he's been one of the better bats. But if the Red Sox front office, at least the guys at the very top, right? We know the people that were a fan of Yoshida and scouting. If they still view him in the light of a platoon player, I just don't understand how they're going to be carrying him moving forward here. It just feels like, to them, maybe the best thing about Yoshida swinging it right now is that it'll be easier to move him in the offseason. And I'm not saying that's what they should do, but that feels like more towards that lane than them being like, hey, this guy, we're going to keep him in the DH spot moving forward. They're treating him like a platoon player. And it's not, the numbers back it. The numbers are really bad for him this year against lefties, but I'd also say, let's let him get some of those at-bats with the way he's swinging it right now.
Is it still the end of the world if he does get his trade value up and you trade him for what you need, which is pitching? I still don't think that's a terrible thing.
Or even just getting out of the money.
If you're going to announce that he's a platoon player, you're also killing his trade value.
That's where I'm why are you doing that?
I hate that. I hate that.
You're not helping yourself.
Treat him like he's your
all.
best player and then be like, all right, I guess we'll take your ace. I think that's a way better path.
I also think it's underrated. To become a DH is so difficult. DH just gets looked at by front offices and fans alike. Oh, that's an off day for somebody.
And he's not happy about it, which we know.
No, he hates it. But he's taken to it. It took him a while to learn how to be a DH. It's not an easy fucking position. I'm tired of people acting like, oh, anyone can DH. The assumption that Devers is going to naturally become a DH is I think we all know he's going to end up there. But I don't think it's a guarantee he's going to be I could see him having a down year his first year and a half after he transitions to it.
Ohtani figured it out pretty quick.
It would be tough to envision a world where Rafi can't be a DH. No, I know.
I'm not saying he can't. I'm not saying he can't, but you look at a guy like Hanley, who you thought would have been a perfect DH, and he fucking sucked at DH. Like he was so out of the game, and I don't think Devers has the same focus issues Hanley had, but not everyone can do it, is my point. Like JD was such a maniacal hitter, where when he wasn't hitting, he was looking at hitting and thinking about hitting. He was always ready. I don't think that's the case with everybody.
It is a lot different too, considering Yoshida's 30, I think. So while we don't want to factor in some of the Japan stuff because the majors is a different level of play, when you've built all these 31 habits, he's 31. You built all these habits as a baseball player. It, to Coley's point, can be a little harder just to switch to being a full-time hitter.
Yeah.
But I do think, when you have this much skill, when you have this much talent at a thing right now, I'm just impressed with how comfortable he looks. Like we can talk about the stats, and I'm sure we might mention Connor Wong at some point. We watch so many games, you want to have a certain opinion of a guy, especially by mid-August, of what you expect when he's in the box. Yoshida comes up, like, he's going to find a way to get on base. Like, he's going to foul pitches off, he's going to spray something to left field, and he's going to be doing his little, his little quick run to first, and he's going to go down there and do the kind of half version of the celebration of the dugout, and on we go. And that's what he's been doing now for months. So even though the numbers are great, it's still great that he's passing the eye test as well, and not just mixing in singles. He's got big hits.
That third
Some
game,
big
not
moments.
to jump ahead, but him coming off the bench, which, tip your cap, Cora, I'll do it again. Like,
Hey, there we
that's a
go,
guy,
Tyler.
Right? I used it correctly. Thank you. But
Hey,
you keep him on the bench, you want to use him like that. He comes off, he smokes a double that ends up playing a major part in the game.
You know what
Ripped
we should introduce to the podcast is a get out of jail free card. Like if Tyler does something good and we want to give him a get out of jail free card, and then he can use it to combat a suspension later down the road.
the funny
He's going
thing
to do
is that,
something
like,
so egregious, though.
Yeah.
Like he's going to go over the top with it, knowing he can't.
he's going to
we
say
have
something
to
absurd,
reward-
and then knowing Tyler, he's going to probably buy the card and like hold it up on
Yeah.
And then break it and get a suspension.
But it's worth it to encourage good behavior out of millibars.
Like yard time.
Hmm.
It's not
I'd argue he's the
solitary.
only one that needs it. I don't think anyone else
Yeah.
needs this card.
In fourth
I mean-
grade, I had recess 4 times that year, 4 times total. Mr. Osgood, I love you, but fuck you. I think he would just give me like no recess
What
so
did
he
he
could
do?
sit there and talk baseball with me. We'd sit there and just talk baseball all recess.
So
is that a
why
bad
fuck
thing?
him?
Well, I couldn't go play baseball or hang out with my friends. I think he just enjoyed sitting and talking with me. But I appreciated
He sounds
it.
fucking delightful. What
This
are
guy
you
sounds
talking
awesome.
about? Hey, like this old super nice teacher was like, oh man, I want to share I love baseball. Let me talk to one of my favorite students about baseball. And Tyler grows up to be in baseball media, and he should be looking back being like, Mr. Osgood, man, you really helped shape my fandom and my passion for the game. And instead he's like, hey, fuck you for talking to
I
me
said I
about
love
baseball.
him.
Yeah, but you
At the
said
same
fuck
time.
you to him.
Well,
you
I
say
was a
fuck
kid and I
you?
wanted to play with my friends, and I never got to play with them.
You got
Tyler,
to talk
look at what
baseball.
you're doing right
Yeah.
now. You're talking baseball. This
Yeah,
guy
all your
probably
friends
shaped
hate
your
you
career.
now.
I could have been
Yeah.
on the Sox, and here
No,
I am
you
with you
couldn't
guys.
have.
There was
No.
a chance. I'm done.
This is what happens. You give him good behavior.
Yeah, I know.
I don't
He
know.
doesn't know
Forget
how
the
to
good
handle it.
behavior thing. I don't know about the good
He
behavior
doesn't know
thing
how to,
anymore.
yeah, he doesn't know how to handle it.
It was a good idea, but I don't know.
Yeah, he just got a little taste of power and was like, I need to
Yeah.
lash out now.
At this old man
my
that just wanted to
mentor.
talk ball. He just
He wasn't
all
old.
I
He was
wanted to
got
do.
me
young.
into this industry.
Shout out
Minimum
to,
like
shout out
40.
to Mr. Osgood. Jake, book Mr. Osgood. I want to talk baseball with
It's
him.
better for the story if he's like 80. This old man only had a few years left. He just wanted to
Yeah.
talk baseball with Tyler. He didn't have any friends left.
You remind me of my grandson that never talks to me. So thank you for talking to me, Tyler.
He was like your guys'
Let's
age.
talk
He was
about
young.
Mickey Mantle.
Okay.
Let's talk about Ted Williams.
Well, that's
It
probably what he
sounds like he was
sounds like. now.
teaching you. He was
Yeah.
prepping you for the next chapter of your life.
Yeah.
You
had a
also
lot
said,
of
"I wanna go
takes
play
on that
He's
song.
probably
Yu-Gi-Oh."
teaching you about FIP, which you use all the time.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
Incorrectly, but you still do use it. Anyways,
Luis
Luis
Garcia
Garcia
sucks.
sucks.
Yeah.
Stinks.
I'm convinced, like, at this point, he is an undercover spy. There's no fucking way somebody could be this bad. You have a 16.20 ERA. Like, it is impressive to be this horrendous. 3 straight outings, you've given up a homer. You've given up at least a run in 6 straight.
Did you forget to preface that take with something, Tyler?
About Luis Garcia?
Yeah.
I'm a fucking idiot? Is that what you want to hear?
No, not to crap on the guy, and then you can say what you're going to say.
Not to crap on the guy, but like, this guy did not give up homers at like a ridiculous rate whatsoever. It was 0.8 home run per 9. He was 86 percentile ground ball percentage. What happened to you?
I think now, like, if any Red Sox player gets upset with like a take, like if they've been performing poorly and we have to say that they've performed poorly and back it up with statistical analysis, if we say not to crap on the guy before we say it, I don't think they can get mad. I don't think they have the right to get mad.
No.
Like if I had just said, Coley,
Jake, can you go back and edit me saying not to crap on the guy every time Trevor Story has been brought up?
Yeah. Yeah. If I just started that video by being like, not to crap on the guy, but Caleb Ort sucks. Like, I don't know why he had all this hype. That would have avoided so much drama.
Real quick with Garcia, I'm going to crap on him a little bit less.
Whoa, I don't think we do that here, do we, Jake? Do we crap on people here?
No, we specifically don't crap on guys.
To not crap on him a little less.
All right, yeah.
It's a better ERA than you thought, Tyler. It's only 14.09 with the Red
there you
Sox.
go.
Oh, yes. Last 6 outings,
Okay,
were the 16-20 era.
there we go.
No,
but
here's nails in Texas. We'll never forget.
That was an electric outing.
Yeah, not to crap on the guy, but the stats are terrible. Like the opponent's batting average 400, opponent OPS 1240 since he's joined the Red Sox. 6 straight outings allowing at least a run.
How many hits?
Come on.
How many? All right, do his Red Sox tenure. How many hits has he given up in how many innings?
Let's see. Hits 16 in 7.2 innings. 7 2/3.
That's crazy.
To your point about the eye test, Steve, like when a guy comes in, it's relievers too, as much as it is guys digging in the box. I couldn't open my gambling app fast enough because I was going to live bet the Orioles when I saw Garcia on the mound. By the time I got to like the submit, like lock in, Urias had already cleared center field. And I was like, these odds are going to change. It's not worth it anymore. I was for certain he was going to just give them the lead, not just tie it, like give them the lead. And he tried his damnedest.
I was hoping to look at the Angels stats, like the recent games before he was acquired, and be like, all right, we could have maybe seen this coming a little bit. To Tyler's point, I mean, dude was nails. I mean, his previous 14 outings before coming to the Red Sox, he had a 1.15 ERA, was just dominant, getting outs, easy innings, and comes here and it's a guarantee. It's not even just like, oh, maybe he'll have a clean inning. He's not gonna. Like, there's no chance.
It's not even 1 earned run. We're giving up multiple.
Yeah,
I know.
You can't trade until further notice. You can't trade with the Angels. They just have this loser mentality. Everyone on the roster. Like if you told me we got Mike Trout for free tomorrow, I'd say pass. Hard pass. Because he's just all he knows is losing. He'd come here, expectations, have no idea what to do. That's what happened to Luis Garcia.
Is it the worst reliever like arrival at the trade deadline since Eric Gagne?
Gagne. Yeah.
Gagne.
That was my pick. Since Eric Gagne.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the expectations were higher for Gagne. I mean, not that Gagne was Gagne when he got here, but just his name alone, you're like, holy shit, we have Eric Gagne.
Right.
And he had been good with the Rangers that year.
He was good with the Rangers, and it wasn't like that far removed from his dominant period. No. Like it was what 03, 04 was the save streak and like fucking getting Cy Young votes and shit. So it's like that could be in there, I guess, but he was
Gagne,
awful.
He did contribute to a World Series. I will give him credit.
He was there.
We don't win 18 without Gagne calling in.
Oh, I thought you meant like, I think he close out
ring,
like a blowout in 07.
Oh yeah, no, I know he was on a team, but we know he didn't
fixed
contribute
Kimbrel
there. Yeah, when he fixed Kimbrel, he's like, hey, you're tipping your pitches, pal. Like that was tip of the cap to Eric Gagne.
He owed us.
Big time.
But yeah. What I'm trying to think of like other relievers that got traded here at the deadline. Like who the fuck?
You know who I look at with a great memory all the time?
Who?
Brad Ziegler.
He was cool.
Ziegler, man. That's exactly what this bullpen needs right now.
We need a Burke Badenhop is what we need. Just
Hendricks?
get outs on the ground. We're in a pinch. I know the ball's not going in the air. You might not get the strikeout, but you're gonna who?
Liam Hendricks.
That wasn't a deadline move, was it?
No, I'm just saying, well, a guy we need right now.
When's he? Is there an updated timeline?
Well,
Yeah,
he's
so he-
rehabbing now.
Yeah, he pitched his first rehab game today. 1-2-3 inning, fastball max out at 95.8. For the people who remember Hendricks at his prime, it was like 97, 98. But it was a good inning. Everything went as smooth as you kind of could have asked for.
Call him up.
They
Call
said
him up.
7 or 8 outings before. So
I met him the other day.
is he as cool as everyone says?
Oh yeah, the accent is so fucking cool. Like you're just automatically cool if you have that accent. But yeah,
He gave
for
one of
sure.
the best dugout interviews of the year. I think they were in Chicago, and he was maybe a little bit too self-deprecating. Like he was like ripping himself. I'm like, you're a very good pitcher. Let's relax here. But very funny guy, right? He seems like he's one of the better personalities on the club.
It should work. Like once he is back, I don't think he's ever going to pitch back-to-back days. I assume that's how they'll protect
I don't
him
think
down the
he's
stretch.
ever gonna pitch again. but
When he's back as like the clubhouse guy.
You can swap him and Slayton back and forth. I think that's kind of the hope here. And he threw his first bullpen. It's going to be a very short rehab assignment. Alex Cora made that clear. Well, hey, you fire Slayton one day, you fire Hendricks, you kind of protect both a little bit. Should be able to get you to a better place than you are right now. With Sims obviously there as well.
And Martin too.
Well, exactly. Well,
Yeah.
I'm assuming, Martin 8, Kenley 9. But Martin pitched back-to-back days, which was refreshing to see.
and he was
they
not
needed
good
to.
in that second game, really.
Yeah. A lot of balls going away from the shift. I'm not going to freak out.
Yeah. Whatever. Kenley boy is always up, never down. Red Sox win 12-10. We got to talk about our good friend Brian Bello, who went into the 6th inning with a no-hitter. I know Alex Cora. Who are you pointing at, Tyler?
Coley's mad at me.
For what? What did you do?
Coley
you blew
snapped at me on Twitter, and I don't understand
put
what
you
I
in a
did to
box
justify
on Twitter.
it.
That was an insane.
You
tweet.
did not put me in a box. I think you read into it like I'm a Brian Bello hater or something.
I think
what I said was
the
more
way
than
you
justified.
phrased it was insane.
How?
He's got to be better than this. Gives
I
up
did
one
not.
hit.
That is not what that tweet said at all.
What did he
One hit.
say?
That was a pop fly in 24 out of 30 stadiums. Bello's
Agreed.
just has
Agreed.
to be better.
Of course.
Awful.
Lowest exit velocity of any homer Gunnar Henderson has ever hit in his career, I believe.
Honestly, I think, was that the ball Refsnyder jumped at? I think William
Yeah.
catches that.
It was.
William absolutely catches
First thing
that.
I was thinking. And Refsnyder will probably tell you like he should catch that. I think if he gets 10 chances, he gets it at least half the time. It hit off his glove, right? I think it skimmed off the glove. Had a lot of time to get back there because it was hit straight up in the air. It's
Yeah, it was just not a home run, and
It
Tyler
was just not
like,
a home run.
this fucking piece of shit, Brian Bello.
No, I said this is the tweet. So the homer gets hit. I go, pain. I'm sad that the no-hitter is over. Bello has to finish the 6th inning, show that growth. That's it. We're talking about a guy in Brian Bello who has a 5.5 ERA in the 5th and 6th inning this year. A guy that
Gave
we've
up.
talked about things unraveling in
crap
that
on him.
last inning.
Yeah, you're
That's
crapping
it.
on him right now.
I'm not crapping on him.
He gave up his first hit of the game, a solo shot that was a pop fly everywhere else, including
Yes.
Boston. You were like, this fucking idiot. If he doesn't change his ways
I think that's what he said,
now,
Fuck
it wasn't even
off.
a bad pitch. That's where I was just like, you gotta be kidding.
Well, no, and then he
me.
gave
I
up the
don't
hit
think your
after.
intentions were bad, but the way you phrased it very much came off like, will this fucking knucklehead ever learn? Will he ever get it together?
He's got a no-no going. This piece of shit.
I couldn't believe what I was reading. I couldn't
Yeah.
believe it.
If Jared tweeted that, I would get it. I feel like
I'm
I've
not
been
an idiot,
acknowledging
though. I
what
wouldn't
Bello's
tweet
been
something
doing.
like that. I think I tweeted something very
How
complimentary.
many likes does my tweet have? Obviously, people agreed with me about how it was read.
You got 140 likes and I got 225.
Did you?
Yes.
On your reply to me? On your
Oh,
original
no.
tweet?
The actual tweet. The reply.
Okay, what'd you get in the reply?
55.
Yeah, you got put in a
Smoked.
box. That's what I'm
How
saying.
you didn't ratio me? That's not getting put in a box.
140 to
box.
55 is absolutely dildo.
The original tweet has 220.
That's not
Yeah.
that's not what like a ratio is all about. It's about the
no,
exchange.
if Coley doubled my likes or got more than me, that's a ratio.
Coley got in the replies, and then you tried to jab back, and you got bundled.
Right.
But he didn't get more likes than my initial tweet.
Yeah, but he
A
got
lot
more
of
likes in the
idiot Bello
conversation.
people out there. Jared was probably liking it from every account he's got.
I just don't know how
Wait,
Tucker Crawford
hold
went
on.
through
Whoa,
this
whoa,
exact
time out.
thing.
No, that was
What?
a shot. That was just a shot. It was
I'm a
friendly
Bayo
shot.
guy. I'm a
I
Bayo
know
guy.
you are.
I'm
That's why it
wearing
was
his
a
shirt
friendly
right
shot.
now.
That is, there he is.
I'm a Bayo
There he is.
guy.
I know you're not a Bayo hater, Tyler. When I read that, I knew other people were going to read it how I read it.
I just think what I said was acknowledging, and they were talking about it on the broadcast as well, we've known at end of starts, when he's kind of given up with the homer, things have gone off the rails for Brian Bello at times this year. I just wanted to see him complete the outing on that strong note and not let anything kind of go out of his way. That was all.
But this is where like your Brockton education shines through. It seems like you were saying the home run was him fucking up already. Like he can't finish because I'm telling you how it came off and how me and 150,000 people, like you said, liked it, read it. That's how it came off.
I didn't see anyone say anything until you did, and then I think people started reading it through that lens.
I mean, mine was immediate. Your tweet had been up 1 second, and I replied.
No one had said anything yet. And then everyone's like, wait, dude, fuck you. You are a hater.
And also, where I still lean, you are a hater, there was no similar tweet to Cutter today when he did the exact same thing.
Weren't there 2 outs when Gunnar hit the homer, by the way?
Yes.
So that tweet had a very limited lifespan anyway, right? Because we're talking about getting through the 6th.
Yes.
Is that like 95 pitches?
And then gave up another hit afterwards.
2 outs in the 6th. It's like, let's just see what happens.
Not to
crap
on the guy, but he did go up a single to Rhino Hearn or whatever the fuck.
If this guy doesn't get through this
Rhino Hearn, good platoon player right there.
Mountcastle was hitting 4th yesterday.
I probably would have just let it breathe. Like, I think he's probably going to get through the inning. He's got 2 outs. Like, I understand he's had some of these, but lately, not really. Like, he hasn't.
We just saw it in Kansas City. We did that game. We had that exact conversation.
But I'm saying over the last 7 starts. I mean,
I think it's even the last 9. 52 innings, 378 ERA, 417 FIP. The XFIP likes him even more because that brings the fly ball to home run rate down to make it league average. He's been pitching pretty damn well, and that's where the only complaint I would have about this start is the 3 walks. He's walked 3 in 3 straight starts.
And that he gave up hits, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, even the 3 walks, though, one of those was the umpire who was a jackass all day, not even for Bello. But when Sims came in, the ump was even more of a jackass. He had the high strike zone all day, and then Sims was like, I'm dialing it up, and he was like, not for you, fuckhead. Like that drives me nuts when they get inconsistent like that.
Brian Walsh? Oh my God, that first game, what he did to, it shouldn't have been a 2-run homer. Yeah, Raffy got fucked on the ball at his face. Yeah. Where he went all the way down. But Anthony Santander walks before the Gunnar 2-run home run in that first game.
Yep. Big facts.
That change. I mean, I would have made a bigger deal out of that if the Red Sox didn't only score 1 run, but
for sure.
I was bitching in the moment.
No, same. No, I think in the moment it's fair. I'm just saying on the show right now. Like those situations are brutal because especially with someone like Nick Pivetta, who you know is like screaming every bad word in his head after he doesn't get strike 3 on that call. I genuinely think he doesn't give up a homer to Gunnar Henderson if he doesn't get screwed on that ball 4.
Well,
like that's the kind of stuff with Pivetta that just it's like, okay, now I'm not going to be as locked in on this pitch, and then it's a homer.
We're not going to talk about the last game, but it was 3 out of 4 games with a home run for Gunnar.
Think so.
Yeah,
feels right. Yeah, because today, game 1 and game 3.
2, 3.
Yeah, the one off Bello.
1, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Which was ridiculous because Bello sucked because he gave that up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was absolute unforgivable.
Ball was crushed.
Yeah, but I mean, thing was torched. So, like, figure it out, jackass.
They said it's the first regular season ball to hit the warehouse. Like I know Griffey did it in the home run derby.
Yeah, yeah.
That was a massive. Jared, I think it was like beginning of May. You asked what was reasonable expectation for Bello the rest of the year, and I said second. Show me after the All-Star game if he can settle into that mid 3.5s, and that's kind of what he's been even dating prior to that. Really, since he introduced the 4-seam, like just having it at his disposal at all has made him a more comfortable pitcher.
Since the break, it's been like exactly 3.5.
Yeah. What's he since the Marlins start?
That's 9 starts. Those are the numbers I gave you.
Numbers, yeah.
So what's the ERA?
It's a 3.78 ERA, 4.17 FIP, 3.37 expected FIP.
I don't give a fuck about all that. He's sub 4 ERA. Beautiful.
I will say Cora made a point post game to mention the 4-seamer, which he got up to 13% in this start, and it was really playing well with the changeup. That was really how he got through this start. It wasn't the slider or the sweeper.
Yeah, I feel like the Miami start is the divider for like. All right, you were fucking ass cheeks. Let's try to do something different. Like that was the division point of we're doing things differently. Let's see how it goes from here. And 9 starts is a decent enough sample for me. That's basically a third of a season.
He hasn't lost a game since June.
8 out of the last 9 starts, the Sox have won.
Beautiful.
And the loss was in extras, right?
I believe.
Is that Seattle?
think so. That weird game where we were all.
This was a great day to be a Brian Bayo guy.
Huge. I mean, they needed that win, not just for the split, but that was like, all right, this is an important game. And Cade fucking Povich, the Orioles shouldn't be allowed to have pitchers too that they're developing. That shouldn't be allowed. We don't do it. I don't know why they're doing it.
Yeah, it's kind of cheap.
Did you see the Sarah Lang's tweet about Devers?
No.
It
What
was the highest pitch in Devers' career that he's ever hit for a home run. It was up there. Like I was watching it at my parents' house, and he fucking smoked it. I was like, that pitch was at his fucking eyes. And then I see Sarah Lang's tweet, and I was like, it was. It actually was.
It was basically the pitch he got struck out on a couple days before.
It
was the
city
same
called the
location.
K. He's like,
He just
I guess
wasn't
I
waiting.
gotta swing at this. It's gonna be called a strike.
Yeah.
So he said
I mean, the double
highest-
he had in game one was hilarious.
That
That
was
almost
ridiculous.
like hit him in the stomach. He's like, all right, I'll just flare it to right for an RBI double.
Yeah.
he said
You
the
guys
highest-
obviously all belong to the Church of Lucas Sims, yes?
Oh,
yeah.
I've been here.
I love Lucas Sims.
Coley is not convinced. Please.
I'm a process over results guy. He got the results, but they weren't. I didn't walk away from that being like what a lockdown inning. You know what I mean? Like
No,
I
but
s-
I mean, if you looked into Lucas, like I'm not gonna pretend that I like was a Lucas Sims expert when he came over here, but when you looked into the numbers and his MO, it was that hey, there's gonna be traffic, but he's not gonna let it score most of the time. Like like no part of Lucas Sims is Kenley. Like he's not gonna go out there and pump cheddar by a bunch of chumps. There's gonna be traffic on the base paths, but does he allow them to score more often than not? No, he does not. So that's the Lucas Sims
like led the NL in
experience.
blowups or meltdowns, whatever it was.
The
Not led.
NL, no one cares.
Yeah, the
about
NL,
that
and
league.
it was back when he was an idiot that threw fastballs.
Sure.
Playing on the Reds doesn't matter.
Yeah,
5
For me-
scoreless innings since he got here. Should be 6 out of 7, but he got
Yeah.
screwed that day. Bernardino gave up the homer after he went 2 innings.
right.
For sure. I don't dislike Lucas Sims by any means. Do I feel like, oh, this is lockdown? Like he's had moments and he's had other moments. Like, I don't know, Santana was sitting on that pitch and was so excited he got it. He just hooked it foul. Like if he doesn't,
Red
if he
Sox
straightens that
bullpen-
out.
Red Sox
Got a lot
bullpen
of
ERA in
spin.
the second half was like fucking 7. So
For
like,
sure. There's not a
for
lot to
what
pick
we've
from.
seen elsewhere, I'm very happy with what Lucas Sims has brought to the
I'm
table.
not
since
out
getting
on
here.
him. I'm just not
There's
out
something-
on him either.
And mix in the fact that Luis Garcia is over
Sure.
here doing what the fuck he's
Sure.
doing. It's like, hey, apparently getting traded to the Red Sox as a reliever isn't all that easy to do. So yeah, I'm very happy with it.
Well,
Definitely
There's
like him more
something to
than
be said.
Garcia.
there's something to be said about obviously, and Lou mentions it all the time. Having Lou on these series is the best. He snuck in the drizzle to catch up on the. It's one thing on EEI because like Lou and Will are obviously big time in on it.
Mhm.
Saying it next to OB makes me laugh. But with
I mean,
Sims,
OB knows. He's a
no,
voter.
OB knows. I'm just saying OB would never say
He's not
drizzle
going to
that
lean
catch
into
up.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, he just let it sit there, honestly.
Yeah.
But no, the thing I wanted to mention is that, yes, Santander croaked that ball, but a lot of that has to do with the fact that Lucas Sims has more spin than like anybody, and he's jamming him, so you're going to have to swing super early if you're trying to
Sure.
keep that thing fair. So, like, that is part of it. But, yeah, I feel good when he comes in, and it's just nice to have that feeling when you don't have that for anybody outside of Kenley.
Is that, Steve, because is it such a low bar? Like, do you feel comfortable because everyone else sucks, or do you feel
a
comfortable
combo
because
deal.
you believe in Lucas Sims?
I believe in him, and I think I saw you tweet Lucas Sims guys. I'm not trying to step on Kenley boys, but I feel like we're building a Lucas Sims group here, and I kind of want us to have a name.
I think it's honestly because everyone else is so bad and unreliable that we cling to Lucas Sims like, please save us. And like it's like if you were a child in Disney and you got separated from your parents, and then you saw
Lucas Sims.
and then you saw one of your school teachers, and you're like, oh my God, a safe person that I recognize. That's what I feel when Lucas Sims comes in. It's like I feel lost when anyone else comes into the game. But when I see Lucas Sims, I feel very safe and secure.
Is he the savior?
Well, no, because that's Kenley. Like Kenley is my parents. Like that's who I feel most safe with. But Lucas Sims is like, oh, that's my That's my teacher. So I also feel
The
safe
teacher.
with this. Yeah.
Lucas Sims.
Lucas.
Simps. Sims a good
Sims?
name?
Sims for Sims.
Yeah, here's Simps for Sims.
Sims. I think that works.
I do want to add, because I don't think we've ever mentioned it on here, and it bothers me every single time we do record it and I forget. Brian Bello and the hesitation move that he's been pulling out a couple times in each one of these starts. Very interesting. I felt like early on I never saw him land an actual strike with it. So
No,
I was
never.
like sitting there like,
That's why
please.
I was bringing it up.
Yeah,
I would go in
please
the
make
dirt
it work.
every time.
But he continues to do it each start. So I don't know, just something interesting to keep an eye on, because clearly he's trying to get guys off, timing wise. I hope he doesn't turn into Nestor with it where it becomes annoying as hell. But, he's not doing it to that extreme level either way.
No, I think he's having more fun than he did at the beginning of the season. Like, he looks more relaxed out there. Even the home run, I think earlier in the season, he's like yelling at Refsnyder to catch that ball, and this time he's just like, what
It
can you do?
unravels. Like, that felt like the unravel moment. That's all that tweet was supposed to be. It's like, all right, just show us, and you've been showing us for the most part, not KC. Show us you can just finish this thing out and end it on a great note. Credit to him. He did
I
that.
think I don't want to harp on it, but I think it shows. And Tyler, this is who you are, so I accept you for who you are. It shows what your tweet numbers are during a game in terms of how much you tweet.
I do.
That there was one out to get, and you're like, if this guy doesn't get this out, I'm like, let's just let him get the out, dude. Let's just let him get
I wasn't like, oh, it's a fucking blow up. I was
no,
like, show
I know,
the growth.
but I'm just
show it
saying,
to
like,
me.
that was always going to have the shortest lifespan, like,
Yeah.
ever.
I earned that one.
No, but
I
credit,
will-
hey, you stay on
I just
top of
know
all
when
this stuff.
Coley responded, I was like, oh, God, this tweet's cooked. I was like, yeah, I'm going to get cooked underneath this.
I couldn't believe what I was reading. Couldn't believe it.
We mentioned the Raffy homer. I'm a little stats heavy on this show, more playing the Tyler role here, but I just thought this was interesting. Not only just was it a hilarious homer that only he would hit, but I was looking at his pace numbers. I love the 162 pace stuff. He is now on pace for 35 homers and exactly 100 RBIs. Last year he had 33 homers and exactly 100 RBIs. It'd be hard to have not exactly a certain number, but exactly 100 RBIs. The previous two seasons combined averaged 33 homers and exactly 100 RBIs. So he's just going to do that every year. You're going to get like 33 and 100 from Rafael Devers, and he has maintained that pace all season long.
I love Buck saying he's probably a Hall of Famer, because I do think the majority of fans I come across don't rate him on that level. And it's a shame, because what he's doing is unbelievable. Like, we got spoiled by Ortiz. Obviously, we've had so many great hitters. I think Devers is right up there with him. He's a tremendous player.
It's great when it just happens for a player where you don't think about it for a couple of years, and then they get to a point where it's like, oh yeah, he'll be in the Hall of Fame. Like, I think we're just going to be on that course with Raffy where it's like, oh yeah. Like, what, 6-7 years down the line, whatever. It's like, this is a Hall of Fame hitter.
Well, and the other part of it is, to get those Hall of Fame stats, you need to continue to be out there
That's
every
the
single
thing.
day. And he's the guy who will post. You don't have to think about it, especially if he ends up moving to DH. But when you know he's going to play 140 to 150 games no matter what, like, yeah, he's going to end up there, whether, probably 10 years from now, 2,500 hits will be looked at as, 3,000 hits. And it'll,
Right.
Everything will kind of come down like pitching wins are today. Then people will be able to put it in the right, kind of perspective. But I will say, the person who was bitching about, comparing Rafael Devers to any
I
other
was about
players
to
in
bring
Red
it up.
Sox history
About to bring it up.
before turning 28, you have a problem because it doesn't have full context for everything else. What a stupid fucking take. You can still go
Terrible.
and show a player and how special they are at that age without taking away, maybe someone who had to go serve in the war for 3 or 4 years. Devers can't help that he hasn't been called to serve his country at some point in time yet. Then you should never compare any stats to any of those players back then.
Well, it's even like, how far do you want to take? Because Willie Mays got taken out too, and he would have broke
Yes.
Babe Ruth's record before Hank Aaron. So it's like, should Hank Aaron get all that love? Or no, of course, that's what you do. Like, shit happens. People get hurt because of injuries. Or people miss time because of all sorts of shit. That was such an insane take. Insane.
I actually saw a pretty insane take today that I was forced to tweet about. People complaining about the Cutter home run today. Like, I get it. He's given up a ton of home runs lately and for the whole year. But to give up one home run, especially coming off his last start, like, his last start was pretty damn good. And like, I know that we talked about it on the podcast, like, the line didn't necessarily reflect it, but it was all just like, rubbish at
5
the end of
perfect
his
innings.
Yeah, like it was all at the end. And then this one, you give up a bomb, and that was to Gunnar too, right? Today?
Yeah.
So you give the bomb to Gunnar. It's like no shame.
Adley,
First of all,
right?
no
Oh,
shame.
Adley. It was Adley.
Oh, yeah, it
first.
was Adley. It
Bailey
was
Horn
Adley.
gave it up
no
to
shame
Gunnar.
there either.
Yeah, no shame. Fucking Adley was due because the other day he just missed hitting a tank to the exact same part of the ballpark that he actually got this one off a cutter. But yeah, it just felt like misguided. Like, I felt, you know what it was? I'll even give Red Sox fans getting on Cutter today a little bit of a cop-out. I think Red Sox fans really wanted that catch-up today. It was like, we went into this series happy to split, happy to have a Benny's Banana split. But to go into the finale with a chance for catch-up, why get this far to get this far? Let's get this fucking catch-up. And mix in with the fact that Cutter was certainly pitching well enough for the Red Sox to win this baseball game. And all the talk going into Sunday's game was, oh, fuck, like they're going with their A-team lineup today. Like this isn't the day game after a night game, happy to split the series and, we're going to, rest some guys and we're not going to try our hardest. This was Alex Cora saying, we're going for it today. We want the series win. We're not trying to just split here. So yeah, like I get the overall sentiment of disappointment. But to get on Cutter for just like that one homer, it felt a little misplaced anger, I guess would be the word I would use.
I think for me, like the bigger thing about this start was it was the second one in a row where things kind of really went off the rails once he got to the 6th inning, and they pulled him at 75 pitches. I believe it was 67 pitches before. And Cora talked about it. He's like, he came out for the 6th inning. It's the leadoff walk to Ramon Arias. Colton Cowser hit by pitch. Like he just kind of lost it very quickly out there. To me, it felt like they're kind of handling him the last two starts like they did last year, where it was like, hey, you're a 5 and dive guy. You're going to get to that 70, 75 pitch mark. You're going to run out of gas, and we are going to pull you out rather quickly. We're not going to kind of let that thing go away. But to his credit, you turn that double play. There's probably a good shot he actually gets through that 6th inning there. But, he was there to cover the bag. It was a bad throw by Rafaela.
Yeah, it wasn't a good throw at all. Even I was hoping it was. I wasn't hoping anything, but it was.
No,
just
I thought the same thing. I
I
was
was
like,
hoping it was
just
on
position
Cutter.
weird?
He was perfectly placed at first. He
Yeah,
busted
just
his
bad
ass getting
throw.
over there, and the throw was terrible. Yeah.
Bad throw. Great play by Casas too. The first base defense. We all love Dom Smith. R.I.P. Dom Smith. Happy birthday, Dom Smith.
That. Happy birthday to Dom Smith.
Casas has been flashing leather at first since he came back. It's been nice. It's been I feel like we've been closer at turning double plays just by having him out there, even if we have maybe turned one or two.
Oh, well, it also feels like a more normal baseball team.
Sure.
It's like you have a first baseman playing first base. Like that's how it goes. And I'm more alluding to like when you needed Romy there, not necessarily Dom. But yeah,
Romy
that
would
was
dove at that ball.
yeah, he would have done a backflip for some reason. Like didn't need that. Today the finale was a pain in the ass because it almost felt like you were being too greedy asking for ketchup in this series, considering it's the Orioles. Like I didn't want to just. The Red Sox are not in a position where they can be like okay with losses. Like you got to obviously win as many as you can down the stretch here. But the guy today was Connor Wong, man. It's been tough. Some big at-bats have been finding him, grounding out, striking out. I don't think he's seeing the ball great. I also say that to say that, like, I always want to give catchers a little more slack, considering that most of them by August should feel like they're dead. Like, I mean, it's like the hardest position ever to play. So you're like, what the hell, dude? Why are you not hitting 315 anymore? But it just sucks when you have the guy in the lineup that the at-bats keep finding. The big two-out ABs kept finding Connor Wong, and he was out every time. And nobody, I mean, it's not just his fault. Like nobody had the big hit today. I know I had tweeted it. Jerry tweeted it. Out hitting them 11-3, and you lose 4-2. Like that's.
Did you
that
see the
just can't
stat?
happen.
Red Sox stats tweeted at me.
What was it?
It was like, let me pull it up. I don't want to misquote, but it was something like the Red Sox haven't done that and lost in like fucking
Ever?
50 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Red Sox Nation Stats, RSN Stats on Twitter said, that's fair, because I said the Red Sox had 11 hits. The Orioles had 3. I'm appealing to the league office. That's a win for the Red Sox, and I'm not taking any questions at this time. Red Sox Nation Stats said, that's fair. The Red Sox haven't lost a game against the Orioles when limiting them to 3 hits or fewer since April of 1976.
They're due.
Jeez. Yeah. it
3
was-
hits or fewer and losing.
They were on
It-
base like every inning. It
It's
was
not
like
even
every
like the
inning they had a
caveat.
chance.
All they like the statistic was limiting the Orioles to 3 hits or fewer, not the fact that the Red Sox had 11 hits. That's crazy.
It was
Yeah.
it's so tough. It's a tough way to lose because the offense has been backpacking you since the All-Star break. And like they're allowed to have an off game once in a while. The pitching, I think that's why people were frustrated with Cutter. It was just like the margins are so thin today. We can't have this. We can't have the Rafaela bad throw. Can't have Bailey Horn going in there and Lou dropping the stat being like, no one's ever hit curveballs and breaking balls better than Gunnar Henderson. The history of the world, no one's had a better eye for breaking balls. And Horn's up there just like, where do you want this? Right down fucking Broadway? It was just like, what are we doing?
It's
Dude,
also,
same
it's like
with
Gunnar has an
Seager.
850 OPS, like against lefties. Like, at least say what you will about Seager. It's like 650. Like, Gunnar hits lefties just as hard. Just at that point, put your best pitcher out there that you have.
Right.
Like, whoever, you know, don't
It
go
might
throw
have been
Bailey
Horn.
Horn out there.
It might have been Horn.
No, sadly, it might have been. But
I would
there's
have gone
also an
Wink
element.
before that. I would have gone Bernardino, who you held later.
But hey, there's an element of, big time players, big time moments. Seager, Gunnar,
Sure.
yeah, they both hit homers there because that's what they fucking do. Like that's what they
Right.
do for a living.
Devers
So-
did the same thing the other 2 games. Like we've seen it.
Yeah. And that's what sucked because it's like, I don't want to say I expected Gunnar to go deep there, but when he hit it, it's one of those, yep, well, could have seen that coming. But yeah, this game was just a pain in the ass. Also, Suarez for the Orioles, he looked like he was going to give up a bomb the entire day. Like he had that look of a guy that was going to be catching the ball back from the ump, like, 3-run homer, we might lose. And it just didn't happen. Like you were just waiting for it to happen the entire game. And, consistently it wouldn't. Jake and I weren't able to watch the last half of the game because of a certain streaming app. But yeah, it was just really, really, really frustrating. This is one of the most frustrating games of the season.
He pitched it like he called the Astros and was like, how do you handle this? Oh, fastball's up, done. And that it was like, even Povich, like the pitches they were throwing, even Burns was getting shelled. And I was like, man, this guy's still filthy. The other 2 were throwing stuff just right over the plate. And today specifically, when I saw that lineup that Cora had handed in, I said, finally. And that's why baseball is such a stupid fucking sport. Objectively, the best lineup we've seen all year. All year, the best 1 through 9 we've seen. And they had nothing for nobody.
If you told us there was a 12-10 game in this series, I'm like,
12-10.
Sunday. Give me Sunday. I'll take Sunday. Like you look at that matchup, and nothing against our guy Cutter, but he's been getting rocked for the most part the last month.
Yeah.
So I would have said it was the finale, and that's not what it ends up being.
You know
And
what's
you did get
crazy? All
two
this
games
lineup
this
talk,
series.
we haven't even mentioned the fact that Tristan Casas returned in the series.
I know, and he was good. All
He was
singles,
good.
but good.
Yeah. 2 for 4 the last 2 days. 1 hit in the first.
Good wood. Just good wood all over the
Yeah,
place. from
good
Casas.
wood. Should have been a homer, by the way. That was just annoying by
1000%.
like Mother Nature. I don't know who to blame there, but someone needs to be held accountable for that ball not being gone.
No, balls were dying all night. That was for sure a home run everywhere else in the country.
He would have hit 429 for the series if that ball goes out, but still 357 his first series back. Really good.
I will say the story of him and how he decided that he was ready, because Cora did not think he was coming to Baltimore, and the fact that he had 1 at bat on Thursday night, and he was like, no, I'm good. He just went to the training staff and said, I'm ready. I don't know if that's exactly how things went down. I felt like the organization was starting to push him a little bit and saying, like, let's go. But yeah, I thought that story and timing was very interesting.
It's just nice seeing him back out there, right? Like, yeah,
Thrilled.
I tweeted this, but it did feel like the 84 years meme where it's like, holy shit, like, right, like, he's on our team. We have Tristan Casas. Like, he's in a Red Sox uniform.
He said something that I know infuriated his haters.
Wait, can I try?
Yeah.
The AAA line,
What was that?
where he said AAA pitching is basically the same as big league pitching.
No.
Oh.
It was
I love
like,
that.
I think it was maybe Jemai asked the question, like, what did you learn about yourself during this process? And he's
I
like,
love
that
it.
I'm a tough son of a bitch. And I'm sure there were people being like, bro, you said you were coming back on July 1st. It's almost September.
I'm a warrior.
Yeah. Well, the thing that stood out to me the most was that I think he kind of like openly admitted that it was entirely his call of when
Mhm.
he was going to return to the team, that there wasn't some sort of, you're going to get X amount of games and then get called back up. It was, because he said was it Thursday? He played his last game in Worcester and was like, "Yep, like this. If you're good with it, I'm good with it. This is my last game. I want to go tomorrow." And then he flew to Baltimore and he was there. But yeah, it sounded like it was entirely his decision on when he was going to come back, and not something where they said, you know.
I think that's
Whatever.
awesome from the Red Sox if they're not forcing guys to try and
Come back before they're
crazy injured. Like that's how it should be. Like when you let us know, you look at completely different sport. You look at Kawhi Leonard. The reason he's not still on the Spurs is because they tried to get him to play when he was hurt. Like that can for sure poison the team. And going back to Devers's point, we know he's not healthy. Xander used to post all the time, broken wrist, all sorts of injuries. I think that's kind of the trickle down you see. Devers gutting it out. He's like, I'm going to go play. I'm here to play baseball. They pay me good. I hit home runs. I'm here to play baseball. You need that. And I'm glad I'm glad they weren't like, hey, it's July. We're trying to make a push here. Hurry the fuck back.
It came off to me at times where Cora the last week, maybe 10 days or so, where he's like, hey, it's on him. It's on him when he's ready. Like, you know, whenever he tells us, we'll be good to go. It did feel like at times to me, they were like, all right, like, what's going on here? When is this going to happen? When are we going to kind of see you arrive? But to Casas' credit, like he's been open about it when describing it. He said the biggest problem for him the last week or so was when he'd foul off a ball. It's okay. He feels the pain when he smacks something. But when he has to get back in the batter's box and swing again within 5-10 seconds, that's when he was having a hard time adjusting. But I think more than anything, it was Casas and where he was saying, like, I'm hoping to feel 100%, because he said it himself. He's like, I think I'll be back after the Orioles series. That's when the rehab assignment would end. Cora said it as well. Well, what changed? Like, you knew the pain wasn't going to go away, and the Red Sox have known you're going to be playing through pain. So I think that's where the balancing was, where, at least to me, it felt like at times they were like not exactly on the same page.
For everyone involved, it's just good he's back, and we don't
sure.
have to do this song and dance anymore, because it was getting to a point where I know we've talked about how Cora took some of these quotes, and I'm sure other people in the organization that haven't commented on it. He's back, and we can just be past all of that shit.
Yeah. I think, honestly, another shout out to Dom Smith, though, because if it weren't for Dom Smith performing as well as he has, many people that were defending Tristan Casas may have been a little bit more frustrated, but I think we were kind of cool with waiting as long as it took with Tristan, knowing that means more time with Dom. And it just sucks that it had to be a 1-for-1, but you have to understand the roster aspect of it. Like, two lefty first basemen, kind of redundant. And it's not, and I know we joke, but it's not like Dom is like some speed demon that you can use as an option to pinch run late in games. Like, he's not going to fill the Dave Roberts role. He was a lefty hitting first baseman. That's what Tristan Casas is. So unfortunately, Dom Smith no longer with us. But shout out to Dom for holding it down for as long as he did, because without him, it's not like he put the team on his back or anything, but he solidified a position that otherwise has been a pain in the ass for the Red Sox for the last 6 years, 5 years, however long since we haven't had Mitch Moreland. 2019. It's been a real pain in the balls over
5
there.
years. Yeah.
So shout out to Dom Smith and welcome back, Tristan Casas.
I will say on the Dom Smith front, like, I was someone who thought you should hold on to him for a couple weeks here, just play it out until you get to September. Rosters expand at that point. You can flip him if you feel like Casas is good to go. But the fact that they came in and they were like, Casas is going to be the everyday guy, we're not even going to be limiting him to some degree.
Right.
I think that made the decision a little bit easier overall, because I did think there was a path if you wanted to just platoon Romy and David Hamilton at second and call it a day and be like, hey, Nick Sogard, we'll see you in a little bit. But the fact that they've also kept Mickey Casper, on the bench right now, and they're kind of using him in some different ways, I think they're willing to free up Wong and plug and play a little bit. But yeah, I think the only thing with Smith is you hope there's not a setback for Casas, because you don't really have great internal options if something happens. And clearly they're not worried about the leadership stuff in the clubhouse, even though him and Refsnyder have been crowned as kind of the guys this year.
They seem to not care about that at all. Between that,
No,
and
they
Reese
haven't.
McGuire. They
Reese
look at these
McGuire.
leaders and they're like, you guys stink at leading, so we really don't care. Refsnyder's like, I can't wait to retire.
Are you being serious? Did anyone look at Reese McGuire as a leader on that team?
And that's how it sounded based on
Reese talked like he was the guy.
I think
Per
dudes liked
Reese
him. I think
McGuire.
dudes liked him.
Reese was like, I don't know how they're going to get by.
There is a huge difference between we like this guy and we would
Clubhouse
follow this
leader.
man to the gates of hell. I don't think if Reese McGuire was like,
they did
charge, everyone's
Coley's
like,
right.
They did
charge at him. They did charge.
They did, but like, I think the Red Sox are just looking for a fight. They've got that, like, there's a
We can beat up
difference.
the Rockies, right, fellas? Like,
We can beat these guys up.
I think it, like, especially with Duran, you can't say shit about anyone on the team without Duran wanting to pick up and fight for that individual. That doesn't mean that individual is the leader of the fucking team. He just happens to be a teammate. Duran will fight anyone on this planet in defense of one of his teammates. I don't think that them wanting to beat down the doors of the Rockies clubhouse means that Reese McGuire is the captain of the ship.
No, he was a good
I'm not
clubhouse guy
crowning
for
him
that.
When they interviewed him after he went to Worcester, he was just like, yeah, man, everyone kind of was like shocked it was me. Like he's made it out to seem like he was wearing this, like it's him and Tech.
Reese literally looked at the camera and was like, why not Connor Wong? Why me?
Seriously. Like, he was like, before they paid Devers, they were actually going to give that extension to me.
They offered it to
That's
Reese.
the way he was talking.
Yeah, they're like, if the offseason budget didn't already get sucked up on PGA, that $1 billion investment was mine. That was the Reese McGuire brand that they were about to invest that into.
Then he was like, I was so shocked that no other team claimed me. Like
was
the
tough.
absolute
Yeah.
insult to him. He's like, every team had a chance and nobody wanted me.
0 for 30. Weird.
Yeah.
He was like, just weird timing. I think that's legit what he said. He was like, yeah, it just wasn't the right timing for me.
Now, one, since you brought him up, one funny thing. Duran got back on track at the plate this series. Obviously, no one hit
The home run robbery?
No one hit. That's what I'm getting to. When he does that, he immediately starts looking to do it again. The ball today, he did not have to jump for at all. Like, he didn't have to leave his feet for 1 second. He was like, I'm going to try again just in case. Like, I'm not taking away anything from the original catch. That was sick. Today, was that the first inning too, or the second inning? He was just like, check this.
Very early.
Didn't have to at all.
Look what I can do here. Yeah, that was a really important series for Jaron. I think that mattered a lot. Obviously,
Big
huge
hit the
hit.
other night. Yeah.
And that's what he does. He has a lot of these 2-out hits that are enormous throughout the course of the season. You
And the
expect him
catch.
to do it. Catch was huge.
Not that the run meant anything, but it was more just like an emphasis on the fuck you, like I'm back.
I mean, the run meant something. It would have been the first road run for Kenley that wasn't at Dodger Stadium. So
He already saved Kenley in Cincinnati, too.
he's prevented 2 road runs that
Miami
weren't
or
in Dodger
Cincinnati?
Stadium.
Was it,
It
in
was
Cincinnati?
It was Cincy, yep.
They had one. Didn't Durant have
Yep.
the same thing happen in Miami too?
Durant, no, he's robbed one in Cincinnati and now in
Or
Baltimore.
he threw someone out in Miami,
Yeah, it was a throw. That's
Yeah.
exactly what
Yeah.
you're thinking of, Coley.
but it was still
But I
Kenley on
liked-
the mound.
It would have been a walk-off, I think, in that moment.
Right.
We were on tied in the 8th.
Right. It was Kenley on the mound, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
True.
What night did we do tie on the 8th? Friday? Thursday?
Not during this series.
Wasn't this
I don't think this series was tied in the 8th.
Thursday?
Yeah, because it was record day.
We did it
Wednesday.
Monday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
I know we did it Monday because I fucking missed Raw.
Me too.
Yeah. Yeah. We did tied in the 8th Monday, and there was another day.
Wednesday.
Wednesday?
Yes,
Because
it
I
was record day.
because I had tacos. Yeah.
Yeah, Taco Wednesday. Of
Yeah.
course. That's what they call it.
Yeah.
But the other thing I wanted to say, and I'm sure maybe all you guys saw this, I don't know, but I think Cora was asked about Jaron, and I think he answered the question great. It's not like he was asked in a way of like, hey, he's had a tough week, so this must have been great. Cora just by himself brought up like, yeah, no, we're not going to just turn a blind eye to what happened here. Like, we have a lot of work to do with the person, but we still can acknowledge and will the value that the player has consistently had for us this season. He always just has the right way to say stuff. Like, I think he worded it perfectly, and he obviously wasn't like prepped for that question or anything. And, it's obviously a tough subject, but it's one that Jaron's going to have to take on. I think he probably has. But if anything, it's Jaron's going to be Jaron, and he's playing with like even more energy now and is even like more fired up now because I'm sure in his head he's got more doubters so like that's kind of always how he's going to be wired. And you kind of saw that in this series in Baltimore.
When do you think he
Yeah.
ordered the Statue of Liberty bat? Was it while he was suspended?
Nah, he's probably had that in the works for a while. He
Cora just had a great tweet, by the way. If we're talking about great Cora quotes,
What do we got?
He's defending his brother.
no, guys. I mean, the Tigers went on a walk off, and it was like a softly hit ball directly to Jason Dominguez, who just didn't throw it for some reason, and so his brother sent I can't remember who. But they scored, and he just said, "Love my brother," just beating the Yanks.
It's very funny.
I do have a thought as well.
On what?
Rob Refsnyder, basically like coming out here and be like, "This might be it for me, guys."
Oh,
Well,
that was
he's
wild.
having
Weird
the best
timing.
year of his career by
Very
like
weird
a
timing.
mile. 133 OPS plus homer today, and he's like, "This might be it for me." We'll see how the rest of the year plays out. But he has
Yeah.
a team option for $2 million next year to stick around.
And it's not like he's like battled. He's been a utility backup player his whole career. And then the
How
Red
old
Sox
is
are like,
Rob?
he's like
34.
34.
33 this
old.
year,
What-
34
Rob,
next year.
What are we doing?
But
Yeah.
it's not like 33's been the majors this whole time. He's bounced around. He's been like a quadruple A guy, and like
That's what I'm saying. Like, you finally have the opportunity to play more than you ever have, and you have a fan base that like appreciates you. And it's not like injuries, as far as I know, are like forcing.
But he's got
him
the
to
heel,
make-
right? He's been playing all year hurt.
That's
The
what got
knee-
Poppy. That's
the
what got
knee's been
Poppy was
barred.
the
At
heel.
42, like that's it,
Yeah,
it
like
was.
10 years from now.
Yeah, it seemed like it was like let's rally the troops type of move. Like, hey, I've always wanted to see Boston in the playoffs. Like that's how I read it, but it felt very bizarre that there was like this
Also-
expose on the end of Rob Refsnyder's career.
I didn't. I'm glad you mentioned the Tigers. I didn't even see those quotes. But what do you get for 10 years? Don't you get something for 10 years? I think this is his 9th year.
Yeah,
in
your
the league.
pension.
That's what
Yeah.
Jackie's
Okay.
playing
Your
for.
pension,
yeah.
So then that's another thing too. Next year would be his 10th season in the league. He's like, nah, I'm good.
Well, he made it also seem like he was just going to instantly be a coach too.
That's great.
I know, that's what he was like. I want to move into a front office. Like, I want to kind of hold down that kind of role. And it was like, oh, well, people have always said, Rob Refsnyder seems like he could be a manager one day or whatever. I don't know. Maybe he just looks at it and he's like, I'm young. He doesn't want to travel. He says he has young kids and everything now. So I don't know. But I could be wrong. I'm not going to act like I'm an expert here. But looking at his service time, while he's been in the big leagues for 10 years, that doesn't check it off. It's like, obviously, how much time you spent on the big league roster. He had never even appeared in more than 60 games until, I believe, this season
Yeah,
and
is the
last
10
year.
years like is a certain amount of games in those years? Is that
He's
how
at
it goes?
5.048
I don't know.
this season. And like, think about how much JBJ played and he didn't get to it.
But his will click the second he's brought up for the Mets, though. That's like the whole
No,
point.
he has to play for a bit, right?
I don't think he does. I think it's if he plays in the major. Maybe it's because he has so much time accrued
Maybe.
that it will start a year. That I know what you're asking. I don't know the answer,
Mhm.
but it very much seems like if Jackie plays for the Mets this year, he's got 10 years.
Interesting.
I mean, at face value, it's absurd for a guy like Rob Refsnyder having the year he's having and just the value that he has on a team now. Jerry, to your point of like, dude, this is like your spot here. Like, you'd want to leave this. This is like the most comfy thing you've found in your career. And you're like, I'm actually I'm heading out, guys. I'll see you guys later. That's crazy.
So JBJ's 115 days shy from 10 years of service time.
Interesting. Okay. So he
So-
has no shot at that.
Yeah.
So
I don't know where
do
he's
the
gonna
years
stick
even
around.
the years? That's interesting then. So what is it? A certain amount of games per year?
Yeah, it's
Is it an-
time on the active roster, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baseball's, again, it's
So you
a
could just
stupid
play
sport.
if not, you could just have like 10 days of service and you're like, well, I
Yeah.
did 1 day a year, so I give my pension.
Yeah.
Did you
Steve,
see,
that reminds me of life insurance.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's identical.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, you don't have to fight a tiger to make sure your family's safe.
I've never done that, but
Unless you live in like a super tiger infested
ooh,
neighborhood.
yeah, that's true. You might
Mhm.
have to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, my apologies to those people because you probably do have to do that, but most people
Yeah.
don't.
Not me.
Protect your loved ones in minutes with Ethos. It's affordable life insurance that's quick, easy, and all online with no medical exams. Just answer a few health questions for a quote and apply for coverage at ethoslife.com/section10. Don't wait. Start your policy instantly today so your family is protected. No medical exam required. Just answer a few health questions. 100% online. See your rate in minutes. Term life policies start as low as $10 a month. Personalize your coverage to your family's needs. like helping your kids through college, your spouse with the mortgage, your family with income replacement, and more. Affordable options from 10 to 30 years of coverage. Protect your family today. Get up to $2 million in term life insurance coverage in 10 minutes with Ethos. Again, answer just a few questions. Get your free quote at ethoslife.com/section 10. That is ETHOS life.com/section 10.
Fuck yeah, dude. So I want to talk about Kristian Campbell's promotion. What are you shaking your head for, Cole?
No, I have a tweet pulled up because I was scrolling Twitter during the ad read, and Boston.com, where we all get our Sox news, tweeted out, Red Sox reportedly promote breakout prospect dubbed, quote, Barry Bonds. And it's like, he gets called that.
That's great.
I get they call him that. Why would we do that? Why? Why would you
set him up for failure?
Why would we do that?
What?
His nickname to like his friend, like the players on the team, is Barry Bonds because of how much he rakes, obviously. Like Meyer and them call him Barry Bonds.
Like his numbers compared to the big three are like on a different planet. Like he's rocking 1,000 OPS.
We can't like have people tweeting out like journalists being like Barry Bonds is being called out. Like we did that with Raphael and Mookie. We can't do that with Campbell and Barry Bonds.
This is even worse.
No.
Much worse.
Yeah, you can't do that. So here's the predicament. I would love to talk about the Kristian Campbell promotion, but the listeners of this podcast were very loud with their thoughts that no AI music. So is Dan Peralt doing Down on the Farm, Steve?
Are we going to talk about this now?
Yeah.
I have not contacted him about that because he thought he would.
Oh my
Hey, can I talk? Can I talk here?
Oh my
Carry on,
God, dude.
Because he thought he was doing the gummy bears. Didn't we discuss this?
I mean,
This is why I had a little bit of pushback. Jared
but
got
we discussed
pretty upset
it.
about it.
No, I did not. You got upset about it, and I just checked.
You went over the top in the check.
No, I didn't. I called you a baby.
You called me a baby, Jared.
You were being a baby.
There's
That's not going
no
on the
one
top.
in my life that would call me a baby for the last like 15 years.
Well, I just did. I'll read the
I'm saying other than you.
I'll read the conversation. You want me to read the conversation?
Do not
I'll read
read.
it.
No,
I'm going to read the
it's
conversation.
not even a bad comment. This is this is why I don't like it because then we'll just read all text comments.
Well, yeah, because if you think it's over the line, then I'll leave it up to the audience to make that decision. Yes, Coley?
I do think what Steve said is fair. That I also thought Dan would have been doing the gummy bears.
Yeah, but then
we agreed on it on the show.
No, but then we had the conversation afterwards. Like it's been days since you knew that Dan was doing Down on the Farm. Like that was decided upon on Friday.
You forced that upon me versus like I said he would do it. You're like, oh, he'll just do Down on the Farm. This is my brother. I wanted him to do Billy's Gummy Bears. That's what he thought he was doing. Like we're not gonna we'll give you this. Like nah, I'm not doing that. I thought you loved Dan. I thought Dan was your favorite Peralt. What happened to that?
Dan is my favorite Peralt, but
then why wouldn't you let him do the Gummy Bears?
Because we got someone better to do the Gummy Bears.
Oh, and I don't disagree with that. I do not disagree with that.
Yeah. So for anyone that knows, first of all, Down on the Farm is country. Like Dan Peralt, it does not do screamo fucking heavy metal music. He does not do hardcore metal. That's not his background, Steve?
He doesn't. That's where I'm saying, did this need to be hardcore metal? This is what because
that's what the song was. It was rap for Stop and Shop. It was hardcore for Billy's Gummy Bears, and it was country folk for Down on the Farm. That's what the genres were. So
no, we don't need to read the combo. Can we? We don't need to read the combo. It's not even bad, but I'm like, we don't. This is fine.
I mean,
we're fine.
The only one that doesn't. There must be a reason why you don't want it to be read is because
I don't read text combos on the shows.
Well, you said the worst part is that you said I called you a baby because you were being a baby, and I
was not being a baby. That's what I'm saying.
You said that genre just ain't me. That's what you said.
It ain't.
But that's why it's funny, Steve.
But I get offended when you're like, Steve, this is why I know the concept of like funny. Like you don't, like demeaning to be like, you're an idiot. It's funny that way.
You said the genre just ain't me. And I said, I know, that's why it's funny. And you said, for you. And I said, for everybody.
No,
and then you said,
do the voice,
rest
so
in peace,
no
Weather Look Ahead.
Yeah,
you
Weather
were
Look Ahead
about to
wasn't gonna
quit.
die.
You're about to quit a fake weather segment
This is why I
because
don't
of
like
the
you
song.
reading it. Then Jared's like,
Am I
you're not a
wrong?
weatherman. I'm like, no shit.
And then I said, stop. And then I said, stop being a baby because you were going to quit the weather segment because.
I was not going to quit the weather. You don't
rest
sense
in
any
peace,
sarcasm
Weather
here.
Look Ahead. You were threatening to quit the segment because of the
Oh,
song.
my God.
Steve had a gun.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He said, I'm going to
On
quit.
himself or us? I'm going to fucking blow my brains out
Yeah.
if
That's-
Dan doesn't do the song.
I don't think it's over the line at all for me to say stop being a baby when I'm like, no. We have this like actual band that belongs to a record label.
This was never the discussion. It was that we said Dan was going to do the
But
song.
I said,
it was never
but
about
I
the
said
band.
in the group text that I'm working on it. Because all right, here's the background. So I used to work at Sully's brand, who is the Believe in Boston, Yankees Suck, all that. And Chris Wren is the owner of Sully's. He's also the owner of Bridge 9 Records, which is a Boston hardcore record label. I worked there for 7 years, from like 2007 to 2014, and their office was half Sully's, half Bridge 9. So I got into some of that. And Steve, you would love this too, because you know who's a big Bridge 9 fan? CM Punk. He listens to
CM Punk.
H2O. They
Mhm.
are a Bridge 9 band. My favorite Bridge 9 band is Death Before Dishonor. So I
Same.
hit up Chris and I was like, hey, we're trying to get this like song recorded. I was like, we did it in AI. People are pissed that it's AI. They want real music. I was like, are any Bridge 9 bands like in the studio anytime soon? And he's like, funny you should ask. Your favorite Bridge 9 band, Death Before Dishonor, is getting in the studio this week or next week, whatever it was. And I was like, holy fuck. Like if we could get Death Before Dishonor to do the song, that'd be fucking crazy. So he's like, let me ask them if they're down. Got back to me in like 20 minutes and was like, yes, like they're 100% in. So I was like, fuck yeah. So I texted everyone. I was like, hey, like this legendary Boston band, like it's not even like they're local. This legendary Boston hardcore band wants to do the song. And Steve's like, I want Dan to do it. I want Dan to do it.
This is why I
Dan, and
don't
was
bring
like-
these up, because then you do
And
that
I was like,
voice
Steve,
and
Dan
it's
can
not-
do Down on the Farm. Like he
I
can do
had
down.
very valid points here. We had agreed before you reached out, right, that Dan was going to do the Billy's Gummy Bears song.
Things
and then
changed.
You reached
We
out.
got a real
Things
band to do it.
changed. But then a
A-
real band could do
a-
any song, right? Am I wrong in saying that?
No, because the weather song was a metal song. It was a hardcore song. So a hardcore
By
band
your
is going to
doing,
re-record it.
that was your decision for it to
Yes.
be a hardcore. Yes.
Correct.
Okay. Correct.
Correct. Yes.
Correct.
Correct. So now,
I'm excited. This is my favorite band. I think this is going to be a perfect lead-in.
so apparently we have to find someone else to do Down the Farm because Steve doesn't want Dan Peralta to do it, which is fine. Tyler Milliken has re-recorded the Stop and Shop song entirely, so it's not even like apparent. Like I haven't. It's on the soundboard. I haven't heard
Is it
yet.
ready?
We're all listening in real time. Yes, it's ready. I haven't heard it. And Death Before Dishonor is doing the weather look ahead for a segment that may not even exist anymore because Dan Peralta is not doing the song.
It
May not
exists.
exist. I don't know.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
I hope you are.
I'm
'Cause
excited for Millibars, actually. I'm very excited for that.
Thank
I
you.
don't know what to expect there.
Suspension.
Coley's not going to like it.
No.
Tyler, I'm a
No.
big props guy, so I do like that you've done this to like set it up. Like
Yeah,
you're getting
thank
a little
you.
build up here.
You didn't hear how he prefaced it earlier. I think that would have changed your tone.
What do you say?
It'll
It's-
come out soon enough.
Okay. All right.
I
Yeah.
think Rafi gets the banana split. Red Sox lose 5-1. 5-2.
Yeah, Rafi gets a banana split.
Massa deserves some love too.
No doubt.
Okay.
I think the home runs
Okay.
and both wins is why Eileen Devers.
Jake?
Yeah, Devers for sure.
Yeah, Steve?
Yeah, I'm going Raffy.
Okay.
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 That's how we do splits, fellas.
Congratulations, Kristian Campbell, for getting called up.
Campbell.
Although it did, like, we had the Sox prospect guys on last week, and it seemed like they weren't going to be in a rush to bring up Campbell. So I think he's just tired of mashing Double-A pitching.
He's bored.
I do think, like, when you look at kind of the timing, though, of him compared to everyone else, like, Meyer played 120 at Double-A, Roman played 94, Teal 93, Campbell 55. Like, that's pretty damn aggressive. And, you know, I put Campbell more in the Teal tier if we're looking at it, because obviously they were both college bats or whatever it may be. But, man, talk about his rise. Like, it really does go hand in hand with what Roman Anthony did a year ago to have this kind of push. And I think he's 98 on BA's list now. I have a hard time picturing him not being, you know, top 60, top 50 with the next update.
I got to say my condolences to the Portland Sea Dogs for having all these guys leave
during a playoff push.
At the same time, that's tough.
Same time.
Yo, Stinkson just came up. He roped a home run today. I know we're doing kind of down on the farm when we shouldn't be, but we also don't have a song yet because of Dan Peralt. But
now Dan's gonna get it's not on Dan. This is not on Dan.
Dan, hurry the fuck up, my guy. Let's go, Dan.
But yeah, so shout out to the Woo Sox. They used Drizzlet today after they took 5 out of 6 from the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs.
They did do that.
I love minor league schedule. You spend a week against them. I'm shocked there aren't brawls every week with
dude. Way more brawls, especially when like you're fighting to get to the majors and you're like clearly just there, but you're not there. It's like, I'm gonna fight you. I played you too much this week.
Sea Dog should be getting Mikey Romero soon. They'll have their help.
Yeah.
Dick Fitz pitching well. Priester pitching well. Hill. Dick Mountain officially
Quinn
on the
Priester.
team.
Quinn Priester, they already got his velocity back.
Wait. Should we be holding this?
Yeah.
This is literally fucking down on the farm, and Dan Peralt hasn't sent the song yet.
That's why we're doing it quick. We're doing it unofficial.
It feels weird here.
Comfortable with it. Yeah.
You brought it up.
Yeah.
He hit 97.
No, I didn't. I was literally just going to say congratulations to Kristian Campbell and welcome to Nuttown and Worcester. And we're going to be there August 31st, Woo Sox night, Section 10 night at the Woo Sox with 4 out of 5 Nuttown members being there. That's going to be very cool. Also, again, Section 10 night at Fenway Park, September 9th, redsox.com/Section 10. You get the tickets through the promo and it gets you a Section 10 jersey and all that shit. But yeah, we'll be doing some cool stuff with the Woo Sox. I think we're going to get there somewhat early. That's the plan, is to get there early, and they're giving us access. Like, we're going to be able to like do a bunch of interviews that day too. And Millbars is going to be there because he fucking bailed on the Sea Dogs.
I'm scared.
Add Campbell to the list now that he's going to be there.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't sent that email yet. I gotta email them. It's probably tomorrow morning. But what did you say, Steve?
What are you scared about, Tom?
Well, there's going to be a very, unique encounter between me and someone.
And Jamie Westbrook, who I know you're not even factoring in.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
Jamie fucking hates you too.
I'm not worried about Jamie.
And he's best friends with Bob. Like, they might beat the shit out of you down there.
Yeah.
I just feel like me and Bob, there's definitely going to be some like hard feelings there.
No,
I want to be
I'll tell you what. It's not even going to be Bob that does it. Bob don't care. It's going to be like Bob's people.
Oh,
yeah,
like
Bob's
you mean the guys
chill.
on the team that like him, or his?
Jared's like, I'm going to beat you up there.
Yeah, I'm going to wait till you get to Worcester, then I'm going to beat the shit out of you.
Yeah. Worcester doesn't have
for Bob.
laws, so that's
I'll wear
why
the
it's
shiesty
okay.
there.
Huh?
I'll wear the shiesty to Worcester.
Do it, whatever.
What does that make you tougher? Like this? What is
Harder
that?
to recognize.
You're going to hide.
You're going to be the only one wearing it. It's going to be easier to recognize.
Hard to recognize.
recognize.
There's only one dude that's built like a fridge and dressed like a scuba diver.
There's
It's
no
Tyler
need for the
Milliken.
fridge part.
I mean,
It brings in the fridge light.
You didn't have to do that.
No, you look good,
He's
but I'm just
defending
saying
his guy.
You look
Yeah.
like a good fridge. That's what I'm saying.
yeah, there's plenty of fridges that aren't like gross.
Congrats to Bob on the triple today.
Yeah, thank you.
We appreciate it.
Are you ready for the debut of your Stop and Shop?
I'm
Theme
nervous,
song?
but I'm excited.
I have no. I swear.
I think
I
You're
swear
gonna
to
listen to
God,
this?
I didn't listen to this first. He emailed it to me, and I asked him. I said, "Is it clipped perfectly? Like, there's no dead air. Like, I'm not going to play this, and it's not going to go right away. Like, there's no dead air. It's ready to go." And I uploaded it to the soundboard. It's ready to go. That's it.
Can I give context?
No.
Uh-oh.
No.
Okay.
Sure.
What context are you going to give?
No,
it's a
no,
fucking.
no.
It's
I
a
just wanna
rap
give
song
proper
about
credit.
Stop and
Suspend
Shop.
them
and-
now.
Yeah,
Suspend them.
get that button ready after this.
Play 2 songs at once.
Are you guys prepared to be blown away or underwater? What, Tyler?
The beat is not mine. The ad libs, everything else is, including
No
the bars.
shit, dude.
But I'm just making it clear.
You think you're Timberland? Like,
I don't know.
what
I don't know.
the-
People thought I was in the stew
Hey,
cooking
I
up.
just want to preface this. I didn't make the
Not
beat
claiming the
myself.
beat.
I
Are you
disrespected the
kidding
person
me,
who made
dude?
it. I did move the beat around in certain ways to make it work for me.
Oh my god. How
How
long,
is
it?
this? Yeah,
It's about
yeah.
35 seconds.
He moved the beat. Or how much beat are we
No,
talking
there's
about?
about 4 minutes of beat, but I had to get, no
You
offense
needed
to the
to
guy.
find
I
the
got his
pocket.
producer
Jake,
tag out
you
of
had
here.
to find
Jake,
the
what are your
pocket.
expectations for this song we're about to listen to?
I have no fucking idea, but I'm so excited.
All right.
It's gonna be so stupid.
Without further ado, what do you calling this track, Millbars?
Stop and Shop look ahead, baby. That's what it is.
I'm like scared of you hitting this
Yeah.
button.
So bad. This is going to
Clean
go
up
really
on aisle
bad.
3. Something. Give us something.
Like, whatever you guys think it is, it's way
You
worse
already told
than
me what to
I
expect.
already think it's bad. Come on.
No.
Question, Tyler, question. How many times did you listen to the finished product before you sent it to me?
50 times, and I also had Martha in on the listening party.
Okay, so
Poor
when
Martha.
you listened to it,
Ugh.
were you bobbing your head? Were you like, this is the one?
Yeah, the last time I was like, okay, this is it. I got to stop fucking around with it. I was like, I'm going to fuck it up.
All right, you ready?
Let's go.
All right, this is this is the world debut of the Stop and Shop Look Ahead song by Tyler Millibars.
When I go to Stop and Shop, I can cross off everything that's on my list.
Stop and Shop. Look ahead. Stop and Shop.
Fuck yeah, fuck yeah.
Look ahead.
Red Sox win, leave them dead. Red Sox win, I'm seeing red. Stop and shop, we look ahead. Red Sox win, leave them dead. Red Sox win, I'm seeing red. Stop and shop, we look ahead.
Fuck yeah, fuck yeah.
What's better than having to stop and shop, getting it done for all of you?
Yeah, that shit was hero.
I think Coley's quit the show. I don't think we're ever gonna see him again.
Why didn't you
I went
use your
crazy in
voice?
That is my voice.
No, it's not.
I swear on my life, I have the audio file
I
that's
know.
pitched down with auto
I
tune.
know it
Believe
was your
that it's
fucking
you,
voice,
but-
and then you ASAP Rockied it. I get that. I get.
Yes,
you,
yes.
You went down to Texas, you chopped and screwed it for no fucking reason. Why did you do
Oh,
that?
the voice sounds awful. The voice, it sounded better with the auto tune.
I thought that was awesome.
Did you get Jake's blessing to drag
No.
him into that?
When did you get? Where did you find audio of David Ortiz talking about Stop and Shop?
I was doing my research. I was looking. I had Sam Kennedy audio too, but I didn't want to put him in it.
I could have sworn that was going to be the AI part where I'm like, whoa, he like at the finish line, he messed it all up. But good job.
Where
Tyler. I
did
thought that
you
was
no?
great.
Where did you find audio of David Ortiz talking about Stop and Shop?
I'll send you the link. Hold on.
That part was.
How
Just
did you
type in Stop and Shop Red Sox. If you type it in, they've done like charity stuff with them in the past. And David Ortiz and Sam Kennedy were at like an event together speaking. It's called Strikeout School Hunger on the Stop and Shop YouTube channel.
Can we play it again, please?
I don't think we should.
When I go to Stop and Shop, I can cross off everything that's on my list.
I love when the beat comes in. Oh, fuck.
Stop and Shop. Look ahead. Stop and Shop.
Fuck yeah, fuck yeah.
Look ahead.
Red Sox win, leave them dead. Red Sox win, I'm seeing red. Stop and shop, we look ahead. Red Sox win, leave them dead. Red Sox win, I'm seeing red. Stop and shop, we look ahead.
Fuck yeah, fuck yeah.
What's better than having to stop and shop, getting it done for all of you?
Listen, I can remix it if we need to shake.
No, it's perfect. I don't want you touching the computer ever again. I would for sure cut the piano and the lady out at the beginning.
You don't like her? Interesting.
So jarring. Well, now it sounds like a real ad read with her.
I wouldn't change a thing about it. I wouldn't change a thing about it.
I like the Ortiz at the end. That's unbelievable.
The gunshot's so good. The thing's so loud.
Yeah, the dog barking was supposed to be my producer tag. I maybe need to up it a little bit.
I thought the tactical nuke part was your.
That too. That was just all full.
You spent more time on producer tags than you did the song.
Yeah, low key. Very into the ad libs.
Yeah, I thought.
What's your line? Do you have like a line, like a Millibar's?
Probably
like
the
if
barking,
young Metro don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you. Like, do you have like a line?
Incoming. You heard it.
It's the nuke and the barks.
Oh, okay. So there's no words. It's just the sound effects.
No. And then like at the end, the dogs are barking.
How are you out of breath? You didn't perform it.
Dude, I was very nervous. But the dog barking at the end, the gun sound is supposed to be the dog dying.
We get it.
I'm trying to break down. It's like
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't
video.
put that to it. I thought you were just trying to do badass shit like row, like I thought you were just trying to do like cool shit. Tyler, I thought that was great. That was way better than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was perfect.
Coley?
I think you did an awesome job.
Coley?
I loved David Ortiz.
Okay.
Putting him that close to gunshots, given what's happened to him, is
that's also
move.
Controversial. That's a good point.
Move. The David Ortiz.
There's been enough time. It's been half a decade.
Yeah, I mean he was at the Bruins game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like David Ortiz part.
Jake?
I thought you kind of crushed it. I think halfway through you really found your flow there a little bit.
Thank you.
Would have appreciated asking me permission on the fuck yeah, but
I wanted to be a surprise.
Jake gives a cease and desist. He's like, can't use it.
I almost auto-tuned Jake, but it sounded a little weird when I did.
Sound weird when you did too.
Fuck yeah.
I just didn't have a good preset or anything, and I could have downloaded, I guess, FL Studio, but I'm not that good with it.
Well, I think that's a keeper forever.
No doubt.
Yeah, that's not going nowhere.
I'm jealous of that intro, dude. I'm jealous of that lead-in.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, we got to do the. I forgot that we then do the look ahead.
Right? yeah.
How could we?
Tanner Houck versus Yusei Kikuchi.
Good job.
Nick Pivetta versus Ronel Blanco, and Cooper Criswell versus Spencer Spaghetti. I'm tired of Texas, dude. What the fuck? I feel like everything's been Texas for the last month. Going to Texas, playing Texas.
It's too much Texas.
Yeah, I'm done with Texas. They just got swept by the Astros. Like, what the fuck? Kikuchi has been awesome with the Astros in 3 starts. 16 2/3, 10 hits, 5 earned, 6 walks, 24 strikeouts, 2 homers, a 2.70 ERA. Faced the Red Sox once with the Blue Jays. That was on June 17th. 4 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned. Didn't walk anyone though. 7 strikeouts. What a weird outing. 7 strikeouts, no walks, but 5 earned and 4 bombs he gave up. 4. The Astros are 3-0 when he starts for them. The Blue Jays were somehow 7-15. Ronel Blanco, 9-6, a 2.89 ERA, a 1.01 WHIP, and an 8.7 strikeouts per 9. He faced the Red Sox on August 9th, got knocked around a little bit. 4 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, walked 3, struck out 5. Threw his 4-seam 39% of the time against the Sox. He's been effective against both righties and lefties this year, but lefties are slugging far better, which is great because all we have is lefties. Spencer Spaghetti. This is 5-11, 5.20 ERA, 1.45 WHIP, and a 10.9 strikeouts per 9. Of course, Spaghetti had one of his only good starts of the season in the last series versus the Red Sox. 7 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned, 1 walk, 13 strikeouts. He did give up 2 home runs. This was only the second time in his career he finished 7 innings, 13 strikeouts, and 21 whiffs were also a career high. The Red Sox managed 9 whiffs on 18 swings against his 4-seam, while also putting 3 balls in play against it. Yoshida hit the home run. The only spaghetti start the Astros have won since June was that start against the Red Sox. He can't do it twice, can he? We'll find out. The series begins tomorrow at 8:10 p.m. in Houston. Again, that is Tanner Houck versus Yusei Kikuchi. That's Nick Pivetta versus Ronel Blanco. And that's Cooper Criswell versus Spencer Spaghetti. Prediction time, Steven.
The Red Sox have lost 6 straight games to the Astros. They are 2-9 in their last 11 games against Houston. They've won 1 of their last 5 series in Houston. The Astros are 9-1 in their last 10 games. You could argue this is the worst time to have exactly this series for the Boston Red Sox. A series win here would go a long way. The Sox rocked Kikuchi earlier in the season, so hopefully they can get game 1 with Tanner Houck on the bump. This could come down to Cooper Criswell on Wednesday with a potential rubber match that I don't really feel great about, but I'm going to stay optimistic and say Sox 2 out of 3, and then after the D-backs, they face some pretty crappy teams.
Coley?
I don't know. I was more optimistic coming into both the Orioles series and before today's game. I think if they had won today's game, I would feel more confident than I do. Arrighetti having another big start would kind of feel like earlier in the year when who's the Angels starter who shoved against us twice? Canning or the other one?
No.
It wasn't Reed Detmer.
Yeah, Detmer.
Yeah, it was Reed Detmer.
Yeah. Kind of feels like he's going to do that again. I get the Sox winning one of these games.
I'll join you with 1 out of 3, and it's going to be. I think it's going to be the spaghetti game. I don't have him repeating that success. So yeah, I have them salvaging the series on fucking Wednesday.
They haven't won on a record day. It feels like in forever.
It's been a long time. T-Dog?
Yeah, I think I'm going to roll into the 1 for 3 as well. Yusei Kikuchi being a lefty. Yes, Tyler O'Neill's back at this point, what makes you feel a little bit better about the lineup, but you're still, 11-17 against left-handed starters this year. Doesn't make me feel super confident, and I think Tanner Houck, we've seen the last 2 starts, him work more with the sinker and kind of rock out that way because he's not getting as many swings and misses. I feel like the Astros seeing you twice in a week is a really bad combination. That's a lineup that when they figure you out, you're in big trouble. Nick Pivetta, I did like where the velocity was at in this last start. He was down 2.2 miles per hour previously, and this one, it was really 0.4 on the fastball. So it feels like his stuff for the most part's back there, and I'm not scared of Ronel Blanco whatsoever. He's been the luckiest pitcher in baseball this year. If you just look at the difference between his ERA and FIP, the ERA is 289, the FIP's 426. And then you get to the last game there. Spencer Arrighetti obviously carved you up, as you guys mentioned, but Cooper Criswell on the mound, that does not make me super comfortable in general. I feel like he's the exact kind of pitcher the Astros tee off on. So yeah, give me 1 out of 3. I'll take the Pivetta game in the middle. And the Astros have won, 9 out of 10? Like, they're on a heater.
Best record in baseball since they were 12 games under 500. Season low, 12 games under 500. They have the best record in baseball since then. Jake, I'm very interested to see where you go here. What do we got?
Yeah, I've been having big time sweep withdrawals. It's been 6 weeks since the Red Sox have swept a team, but that being said, I'm going with the Red Sox sweep here.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know where you were going to go there, but sticking with the sweep.
I mean, it is like we've been doing these predictions really all year. We haven't faced the Astros with Casas. That's just a fact.
I don't know how much of a difference it's going to make, but
we'll find out.
We'll find out. We'll find out. And you can find out, too, if you want to go to these games in Houston with Game Time. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to your favorite live events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste your time searching through thousands of tickets. It's super convenient. Game Time, actually, we'll probably be using Game Time. It's been a while since I've used Game Time on the road, but Coley and I will be in Kansas City next month. for the infamous Dr. Wiener trip that we're taking. And I'm very excited to be using Game Time for my very first time at Kauffman Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Never been.
Same.
This is my second ballpark this year that I've gotten to knock off my list of ballparks that I've never been to before. So very excited for that. And I will be using Game Time to find those tickets. The Game Time picks curation makes it easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and more.
Mhm.
All in pricing, you toggle this feature. It shows the total upfront with no surprise fees at checkout. Get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. The lowest price guarantee or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Take the guesswork out of buying concert tickets and MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the promo code SECTION10 for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account. Use the promo code SECTION10, that's SECTION10 for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. What's the fucking weather going to be in Houston, Steve?
Oh, yeah. Weather look ahead brought to you by Billy's Gummy Bears.
You chew them with your mouth.
That's exactly what you do, Jared. Sox are going to be at Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas for this 3-game set. Starts on Monday at 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Partly cloudy, 94 degrees. Feels like 106 outside. Yeah, it's not. It won't be 76. Let me promise you that. 0% chance of rain, 9-mile-an-hour winds. Doesn't matter. It's indoors. Tuesday, Game 2, 8:10 p.m. start as well. Mostly clear, 94 degrees.
Oh,
that one was close. Feels like 105 outside.
Jesus.
I would have to agree with Jared. Sick of Texas. Wednesday, Game 3, 2:10 p.m. first pitch. That's Eastern. Sunny. 97 degrees. Feels like 106 outside.
Jesus
inside, I bet it's like,
dude.
what? It's probably closer to 76 inside.
I bet you it's probably, if I were to guess, 78.
Yeah, maybe right around there. Maybe a little lower.
Yeah.
And that'll do it for your weather look ahead, which is brought to you by Billy's Gummy Bears. Chew them with your mouth.
This is one of our largest cities, right? Like in the country, Houston. Why?
It's a big one.
That's so hot.
Yeah, why would you? After we were there for All-Star, it's like, why does anyone live here in the whole state?
Houston's worse because Houston's humid too.
Yeah,
like we walked around outside in Dallas, and I guess like
well, you don't count. You don't count. I'm saying for you about to talk about sweating, like you don't sweat. So
I was gonna say we walked around in Texas and Tyler did not die. He got close.
I think we were all pretty close that last day. That was a rough,
fine.
like 30 minutes there.
I was literally fine. But I think if we went to Houston and did that, Tyler's probably tapping out at some point because it is hot and humid there. So, all right. Good. So, Jake, how long are we going right now?
We're at like a clean 3 hours right now.
All right. I mean, people love that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Steve loves it.
I'm the leader of loving it.
People love it. So a clean 40. Final thoughts, millibars?
Yeah, I think really the big one I want to touch on is Quinn Priester. Seeing what he did in that start.
Let me stop you right there. This is why Dan Peralt. This is why Dan Peralt needs to send the fucking song because Tyler's final thought is always going to be, like I would rather just completely get rid of final thoughts, and it's just all right. It's Stop and Shop. It's weather.
Final thoughts can still happen.
No, it's Stop and Shop. It's weather. It's Down on the Farm, and then Steve final thoughts, and then Jake's takes.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying I can still say a final
My
thought.
final
under
thought
this
is
one.
not prospect related. I don't know why.
I don't believe
And Coley's isn't always. Tyler's is always. Coley's isn't always.
Would you like me to change my final thought for today until we have a song? I don't mind.
No.
What do you got on Priestler?
Down on the farm, we'll be trekking Eddie's goat milk down on the farm. Wake up the kids, tell your mom, talking Red Sox prospects down on the farm.
Come on, Dan. We need you. We need you, kid. Need you out there. Go ahead, Tyler.
Yeah, so I did think it was interesting that Breslow today made the point that Quinn Priester and Dick Fitz are going to be considered down the stretch to get starts here and there. Quinn Priester still has a ways to go before you actually get that extra year of team control, I believe. I believe it goes into September, if I'm correct. But had by far his best outing since joining the Red Sox organization was 5 innings, 2 hits, 0 earned runs, only 1 K, but the fastball, or the sinker, excuse me, was back up to 97. That was something that, when the trade was made, Pirates fans were laughing that Red Sox fans were citing that in their, scouting reports or hopes for the guy. Well, they already got him back up to that. And he only needed 42 pitches. 29 of them were strikes for him to get through the 5 innings. Still not fully stretched out yet because he was working out in relief, but that's a pretty big win if he looks anything like that over the next 6 weeks. And Coley alluded to it earlier with Dick Fitz. June, July were really rough. 3 starts this month, 21.2 innings. 17 innings. It's a 2.12 ERA, 19 Ks, 2 walks. Both guys are kind of going to be pushing, but with Rich Hill also down there, I think those are the guys you're kind of keeping an eye on, with Cooper Criswell not looking great, but the Orioles always kick the shit out of him. Houston's probably the better test. I just don't think it's going to go well for him.
So Hatfield on July 29th said Priester is under team control through at least 29, but if he's optioned for 24 more days, he'd be under team control for 2030 as well. So I don't know if that was just wrong day of, but that was what he said when he was acquired. So that would be...
So it's closer to last week of August than
Yeah, it'd be a couple days
first
from
week
now.
of
It's
September.
like the 22nd of August.
That might be closer. I was reading something today where it was like close to 30 days or 35 days of like service time. That's what I was looking at, that, he has to avoid at the big league level this year. And I was kind of doing the math, and I thought I came to the first week of September, but it could be wrong. I definitely trust what Hatfield has to say over me.
Coley?
Well, now I have 2 final thoughts. One, after this game tonight, Yankees-Tigers, the Tigers are pretty much saying they're going to start skipping a bunch of school bowl starts, which is interesting, A, for Cy Young markets, but B, the trade market this winter, if they're like, we can't get this guy fucking hurt. So that's interesting. Also from that game, shout out to Jay Hay with a nice little nugget he pulled from that game via screenshot. Aaron Judge's favorite application, Maps. What
Maps.
a loser.
What is your favorite app, Coley?
The one that's made me tons of money is Twitter, so I feel weird to not say that one based on, again, the money.
To me, though, like Twitter is like a website more than
all
an
apps are.
Yeah.
Can't remember
Short
what
for
I was
application.
reading. It was something like Steve Jobs related to someone. Someone like high up in the industry was like, all apps are just websites. Like, there's no reason for any apps to exist.
The new episode teaser just dropped.
Oh, that's my favorite time of the week.
Shout out Jeremy, the GOAT.
Fernando Buckley, Black Buzz Lightyear, Mr. Osgood, and it changed too quick.
Young Thug.
Oh, I don't know who that guy is, but it's Tyler and some rapper that I don't know.
Still Young Thug.
Oh, Young Thug. He went crazy with that.
Yeah.
Just a quick thought on the Quinn Priester stuff, just to wrap it up. He had around 133 days of major league service. It's possible he crosses the 172-day threshold to reach a full service year in 2024. So that's 39 days? Is that my math correct there? So that would have been 39 days from when the trade was made. Same ballpark, July 30th. So I don't know if that's technically the first week of September or the last week of August, but it's somewhere in that stratosphere. But this is off MLB trade rumors.
Steve?
Yeah, a couple things real quick. Players Weekend just didn't really hit like it used to hit.
No.
I think they tried. They kind of half-assed Players Weekend. Let's be honest. Like I
They
think
didn't
the
try at
numbers.
all.
No, I know the numbers on the side of the hats. I'm like, really? Like every time I saw them, I thought it was like a mistake on the hat or something. Like it didn't jump out like it was being super creative. Like just have different hats all together. I mean, you mix it up during the season with alternate uniforms. Why couldn't they have had the jerseys again? Didn't really get any good reasoning on that. They just said that they weren't going to bring back the nickname jerseys. Well, you should have, because everyone loved that. So everything with the uniforms this year has been a F-, and it really drives me nuts. I mean, the bats were cool. Custom cleats shouldn't really get anyone too excited. They get me excited, but that's throughout the season.
Right.
That's not just like this weekend. So you're not really, it's like, look, we'll give you this. It's like, no, that's available literally in late March. So I don't know why that was part of it as heavily featured as it was. So kind of a letdown. The bats were cool. Saw some really cool bats, so that was neat. In terms of the standings, the furthest the Red Sox have been back from a playoff spot is 4 games. So we're getting close to that right now, being 3.5 back. Last time they were 3.5 back was June 4th. 75 days ago.
Oh, we fucking lost again today. God damn it.
Yeah.
Lost again today. So it was one of those where it was like, hey, we got our banana split. But the Royals, dude, I got numbers on the Royals. I'll probably save them for next episode, but they're just a mega pain in the ass. But last and certainly not least was the Section 10 merch drop, which is, for my money, the best ever. Shout out Tyler. You got a Section 10 shirt. That's a big deal.
Thank you.
The fact that we brought back classics and mixed them in with new ones, 162 guys, 162 girls, of course, 162 gays. I love the ketchup guppies. That's a really good one as well.
Underrated
So
one
definitely
from the
go
drop.
big time underrated. Section10merch.com to get yours today.
Yeah, the new drop, there's a Clark's ketchup shirt that goes really hard. The classics that we brought back, the What Up, Section 10 in the building, the Kowloon shirt, the Eddie's Goat Milk shirt, the Suns Out, Guns Out shirt, the Maine Bear shirt, Citrus Hills, as Steve mentioned, the Ty Coos shirt. We got 162 guys, 162 girls, 162 gays, a Benny's Banana Split shirt, the Ketchup Guppy shirt. It's a hell of a drop.
Am I
Section10merch.com.
am I crazy, or was there a Kenley Boys one that got sent in the group and then just didn't get made?
Yeah, there was one. Yeah. There was one, yeah. So, I mean, like, there's also classics that weren't in this drop.
No,
so, like,
for
we'll have
sure.
a third drop. Yeah, we'll have a Kenley Boy shirt.
There
I mean,
were
we should
folks
prob-
asking for the balloons, Louisiana balloons.
Yeah,
to bring
Louisiana
that back.
Balloons. Yeah, that was the one where I was like, we need that one.
All
What
time.
other classics were there? I
That
don't
were
know,
in
but
the drop or that we
That
didn't bring
we
back?
have.
that we
haven't
didn't
done.
bring back yet. We definitely have to bring back the balloons, though.
For sure.
Ronald's napkins wouldn't be bad.
Yeah. Well, that's the one
I-
that I want to do, like, every sponsor. Like,
Yeah. A not to crap on the guy. I don't even know what that would look like, but
I mean, there's at some point there's gonna be a fucking t-shirt with Milliken and a ski mask. That's just coming.
Get me out here, baby. I could rock this every episode.
Jake's takes.
I know we're up over 3 hours, but I think we got to close it out with one more spin back on the Stop and Shop song.
yeah,
I
can we
agree.
please play that again?
Let's close it out with the Stop and Shop song. But just to recap, new merch drop, section10merch.com. Woo Sox night with Section 10, August 31st. It's a Saturday. Be there in Worcester with us. We'll be doing, like, in the booth. I think we're doing like a meet and greet for like 3 full innings. And then Section 10 night at Fenway with the Red Sox is September 9th. RedSox.com/Section10 to get your tickets. And if you have a ticket to the game already, does Zach get you a jersey? No. So you got to go to RedSox.com/Section10, buy your ticket there, and then that'll get you the jersey at that game.
And also, if you want to see us play baseball, that's this Thursday.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you want to see us play baseball, Cambridge, St. Peter's Field, 7 p.m. this Thursday. What is that, the 21st? 23rd? I don't know. The fuck day is it?
I think the
22nd?
rain out day is the 23rd.
22nd.
It's the 22nd.
It's the
It's the
22nd,
22nd.
yep.
Thursday, August 22nd, St. Peter's Field in Cambridge, Massachusetts, for the Oldtime Baseball Game, put on annually by Steve Buckley. Great cause and a great event every single year. So hopefully we'll see you everywhere. Now, where you going, Tyler? Where the fuck did you go?
I'm terrified.
Shutting those lights
He's got a
off?
gun.
Yeah. Something's catching on fire. All right, ready?
Play that shit.
When I go to Stop and Shop, I can cross off everything that's on my list.
Stop and shop. Look ahead. Stop and shop.
Fuck yeah, fuck yeah.
Look ahead.
Red Sox win, leave them dead. Red Sox win, I'm seeing red. Stop and shop, we look ahead. Red Sox win, leave them dead. Red Sox win, I'm seeing red. Stop and shop, we look ahead.
Fuck yeah, fuck yeah.
What's better than having to stop and shop, getting it done for all of you?
Buenas noches, amigos.